A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Well, Betty Lamar, the picture star, flew in from Hollywood and announced to the aces that she was Mrs. Arthur Lorentz, wife of the movie director who is putting on the movie contest in the aces' town. Mr. Lorentz, you recall, is taking quite an interest in Marge. Marge, meanwhile, is through with her boyfriend, Neal Williams, whose newspaper is putting on the contest. This episode is an alternate scene between the aces' bungalow and then to the studio where Mr. Lorentz is looking over the screen test of the contest. But first to the aces. Listen.
Well, here's a piece in this paper that says the winner in the movie contest will be announced day after tomorrow.
Well, how interesting.
Yes, how interesting.
I can hardly wait to learn who it is.
Yeah, I can hardly wait to learn who it is.
You both sound like a couple of disappointed, screen-struck kids. Yes, especially you.
Me? Why wouldn't he?
Yes, I know, Jane. It says here, well, I'll read the whole thing to you. I guess this is Neal's article. He's handling the whole contest. You remember Neal.
Neal, let me see.
Oh, now, Marge, I don't think you ought to talk like that.
I'd rather not discuss that, Jane.
But he's been calling up for you to talk to you, and you won't answer the phone. And I keep telling him you're not here. Honestly, I've broken every amendment for you.
Well, I appreciate it, Jane.
Oh, no, you don't, or you talk to him. I thought now you'd make up with him, especially after that Betty Lamar came here.
Betty Lamar, Mrs. Lorentz. Well, that was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yes, wasn't it? I was just about to read this article here in the...
Marge, I'm your best friend. You know that.
Yes, I know.
It says here
Neal isn't just a fancy passing, is he? No. And after all, you're only young once in a while. How many fellows can you meet? And you know what happened with all those other fellows you used to go with. Something always happens. It's just like a movie I saw once.
Don't go through that. I'm trying to read this story about the contest.
It's like a movie I saw once, Marge. A girl just like that.
Like what?
Well, like you, almost. Every fellow she went with, something happened to. Like one was sunk on a ship and things like that. They called her a creature of dentistry. And she never did find a
creature of dentistry?
Well, it's nothing to laugh about, Marge. Because now you take Neal.
I did.
Yes, now a fellow like Neal. Oh, I just got that. Oh, Marge, you're so repulsive. Well, enough of joking around. I think it's just fate. I mean about you and Neal. The least you can do is to talk to him on the telephone when he calls up.
I tell you, Jane, it's all over.
Well, why does he keep calling you up if it's all over?
Well, it's all over as far as I'm concerned.
Even now, even after Betty Lamar got here?
Oh, what's she got to do with us?
Well, she's Mr. Lorentz's wife.
I know. Jane, you're letting your romantic mind run away with you.
Oh, no, I'm not. Neal told us about how you let Mr. Lorentz turn your head and how you...
That's enough of that.
Oh, so you don't like to hear about
Well,
it?
Jane, you want me to get mad at you again?
No, but I was on...
Then drop the subject.
You mean
let's not talk about it again.
Oh.
Yes, oh.
The Daily Post Hollywood movie contest is about to make a certain girl happy. Who will she be? Hundreds of applicants who were given screen tests by the great Arthur Lorentz are dreaming of Hollywood and a career. The task is no easy one because, as Lorentz puts it himself, they are all...
Oh, I cannot stand any more. They are terrible, horrible, all of them. Frank, put up the light.
I've got one more reel. Shall I run it?
Yes, run it and get it over with. I hate to waste the screen on them. They are all so impossible. Not one of them is fit for the picture.
Well, what did you expect in this hick town?
My dear Beth, in the first place, I did not send for you to come here.
I'll say you didn't.
Then please do not comment on the town or my work.
Your work. You always manage about once a year to shag yourself off to some hideaway where you go around making discoveries.
It is a precedent I have established, a Lorentz discovery every year.
Yeah? Well, I've made a Mrs. Lorentz discovery, and I don't like it.
Betty, it was our agreement not to interfere in our respective art. Since our marriage, you have been so...
Okay, Mr. Lorentz?
Okay, Frank. Run it and let us get it over with. Oh, look at her.
Pretty.
Please, Betty, I ask you.
Will you get a load of that village girl?
Yeah, I know they are terrible,
Well,
but...
then why are you wasting your time stuck away in this forsaken town? There's something phony going on here. I know you, Lorentz.
Quiet, please.
I can see you squirming in the dark here. You know I got into town just in time to spoil whatever little game you've been playing.
Game? You call this play?
Yes, you've been playing at movie director.
Playing at it?
Oh, I know. You're the last word. I'm not trying to say you're not. But once a year, Hollywood gets too small for you. You need to impress new people. And so you go on these talent cruises. Well, this year, I'm stepping into the picture.
Please, Betty, the man can hear you.
Last year, you were away 3 months. Not a line from you.
You do not understand.
Oh, you've turned actor now. You're going to be the misunderstood husband. Well, let me tell you that...
Mr. Lorentz, are you in there?
Yes, who is it?
Neal Williams.
Oh, come in, my friend. Can you see your way?
Yeah, I think so.
We shall be finished here in a few moments. Can you find a chair? Oh, be careful.
I'm all right. I'll get used to this dark in a minute. Okay, I'll tell Mr.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, I didn't know.
Mr. Williams, may I present Miss Betty Lamar?
Oh, I didn't know you had company. How do you do, Miss Betty Lamar, the movie actress?
What there is left of me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
Oh, not at all. I'm used to being kicked in the shin.
Oh,
Betty, my dear, Mr. Williams is a newspaper man.
Oh, Arthur, dear, why don't you have the lights put on?
No, that's all right.
Arthur's so intent on his work. You'll forgive him, Mr. Williams.
I understand. That's quite all right. I'm comfortable now.
I will be finished in a few moments. Oh, my friend, they are horrible pictures of these people.
Yeah, she does look pretty bad.
Oh, these children who want to have their fling in pictures. If they only knew the sacrifices we must make, the terribly hard work we stars must do, the excruciating grind of it all.
Well, this is a surprise having you here in town, Miss Lamar. I'd like to do a story for the paper.
Oh, but you're so kind, Mr. Williams. But after all, it's Arthur's show, and I don't want to steal any of the glory from him. I have photographs of the house, if you wish. Local photographers don't seem to do me justice.
Oh, thanks, Miss Lamar. That'll be fine. Oh, say, how would it be if you presented the winner of our contest with the contract to appear in this picture of Mr. Lorentz's?
Love to.
Fine, that'll be a swell story.
Yes, it will be a swell story, but where is the winner?
What?
Oh, they are all so impossible, my friend.
Oh, now listen, Mr. Lorentz, we can't put this off any longer. The paper wants some action. They've been getting hundreds of phone calls from these girls, and they want to know the winner. Tonight's paper says the winner will be announced day after tomorrow.
Oh, but they are all so impossible.
Oh, so you're still pining away for Marge?
Please, Mr. Williams.
Who? Who's Marge?
Girl who lives next door to the house he took, Marge Hale.
Marge Hale. Oh, yes.
You mean you know her?
I met her.
What? When did you meet?
Neal, my friend. You
So
do not
that's
have...
the little game.
But Betty, my dear.
I don't understand. When did you meet her?
Listen here, Lorentz.
Lights, please, Frank.
Okay.
Listen, Mr. Lorentz, Marge told you she didn't want any part of this contest. I guess she meant it. And I'm here to tell you that you'd better make up your mind pretty fast about another winner.
But,
I don't care how impossible they are. My paper isn't going to be made a fool of.
And do you think Lorentz will be made a fool by using these horrible girls who have tried out?
Yes. If it's a showdown between the paper and you, I think you'd better make up your mind to forget Marge.
But she is
Listen
the only...
here, Lorentz. I warned you that this would be the last time you'd pull any of your tricks on me.
Betty.
And I mean it. Ever since I married you, you've been...
Married? You mean you're married?
You stay out of this.
Betty, what are you saying?
Don't give me that. I told you what was going to happen, and it is. I'm going to put a stop to this once and for all.
Oh, sit down and calm yourself. You're always playing the tiger woman.
Yeah? Does this look like I'm playing?
What have you there?
You see it.
A gun? Now listen, Miss Lamar. Don't start anything.
Betty, give me the gun.
4 years ago, I married you because I truly loved you. I still do. And if you think some silly girl's going to break up that love, you're terribly wrong.
Ah, Betty, you're dramatizing. Always dramatizing. Always the actress.
Funny,
Gun.
but I do feel more like an actress this minute than I ever felt in all the time I spent in pictures. Like I know every one of my lines.
Yes.
I know exactly what I have to do, and I find myself doing it. It's because I've been rehearsing it in my mind for so long. And now you're directing it. That's the laugh, isn't it? The great Lorentz directing me how to kill the woman who's trying to take him away from me.
Kill the woman? Just a minute. You're not
Stay
going
where you are.
But, Betty, she is not...
And you too. Don't try to stop me, either of you.
But you better think this over. You don't know the facts.
I've been thinking for 4 years.
But Marge doesn't even care about
Betty,
being
come
in
back
this
after you've calmed down.
I've never
You'll
been
find...
calmer in my life. I'm surprised at myself.
She's got to be stopped.
Don't try it, either one of you.
But if you'll only listen...
Stay where you
Neal,
are.
sit down.
But she's on the level about...
First time in my glamorous career, I seem to be in the mood of the part I'm playing. And I don't need a director. And I don't need soft music. And this is one time there aren't going to be any retakes.
Quick, we can't let her do this. I've got a cat downstairs.
Wait. She's a dangerous woman.
But we can't wait. I'm thinking of Marge. Does she really know where she is?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, I know the phone. I'll call her.
Yes, call her on the phone and warn her to go away.
Yeah, that's it. Where's the... Oh, here it is.
Tell her to hide.
I'll get the police down there.
Oh, no, not the police. The scandal will not be...
Oh, stop thinking of the great Lorentz. I'm thinking of Marge. Why,
anything happened to her... But we can do it without police. Just tell Marge to go away somewhere until we have been able to calm her down.
Go away where? She's got to be warned to get police protection. The woman's raving.
I guess after the winter is decided, they'll start shooting some of the picture here in town. That was the plan, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought they were going to make a scene or two from the picture here, and the girl who wins the contest is going to play a part. Isn't that the way it's going to be done?
Search me.
Search me.
Well, that's what I gathered from what Neal told us.
Who? Oh, now, Marge, I don't think you ought to talk like that about Neal.
Oh, are you going to start that all over again, Jane? I told you that we're...
There, I'll bet that's Neal calling up again. Answer it, Marge.
I will not.
Oh, now, Marge, you're acting silly, Marge.
I'll act the way I like.
But I
All
guess
right, then answer it, Jane.
Tell him I'm not here. You can also tell him to stop calling here.
Honestly, you're so obsolete. Hello? Oh, hello, Neal. Who? I don't get the name. Oh, Marge. Hold the phone a minute. It's for you, Marge.
Jane, didn't I tell you that I was...
Oh, all right. She's not here, Neal. No, she's not. A matter of what? I didn't hear you. Say it over again. A matter of what? Life. A matter of life. Yes, I heard that. What's the rest of it? Well, not so fast. A matter of life and what?
You see, it's becoming a matter of life and death with him. Marge, why
I'll
don't you...
bet.
I guess it's a bad connection, Neal. I can't hear that other word. Yes, I heard a matter of life, but I can't hear the rest of it.
Well, somebody had better tell Marge of the danger she's in. We pick it up from this point when next we meet the Easy...
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
Minus 1.
Tonight, Protection by Robert Sheckley.
There will be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the Fiegs certainly can't harm me, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the big problem is Lesnarizing. I must not Lesnarize, absolutely not. As you can imagine, that hampers me. And to top it all, I think I'm catching a very nasty cold. The whole thing, including the cold, started on the evening of November 7th. I was walking down Broadway on my way to Baker's Cafeteria with Charlie Lester. He's in one of my physics classes, and we were both feeling pretty lightheaded.
Boy, I've had tough exams in my day, but that was...
You got a cold?
No, I haven't got a cold. My eyes just water, my nose runs, and I sneeze because I'm essentially a masochist. Actually, it is psychosomatic. I hate my mother and my father. Of course I've got a cold. What do you think?
Well, look, don't give it to me. I've got a heavy date with a Barnard Jr. this weekend.
My boy, there is no such thing as a heavy date with a Barnard Jr.
Never mind. Just don't blow any germs my way.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'll leave you completely. I have to go over to South Hall to pick up some books. So long.
At the moment Charlie left me, I had in my pocket 5 coins, 3 keys, and a book of matches. Just to complete the picture, let me add that the wind was coming from the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Venus was in the ascendancy, and the moon decidedly gibbous. You can draw your own conclusions from this. I reached the corner of 114th Street and began to cross.
The truck! Watch out for the truck! Watch out!
Huh? What truck? Who? What? Well, there's no truck on the street. What? Oh, well, thanks, friend. If you hadn't warned me, I'd... Hey, where are you? Who said that to me? Where are you?
Can you still hear me?
Well, sure I can. Where are you? There isn't anybody here. Where are you?
Gronish. Is that the referent? Refraction index. Creature of insubstantiality. The shadow knows. Did I pick the right one?
What, you're invisible?
That's it. I knew the concept was somewhere in you.
Well, what are you?
A Valadusian Derg.
A what?
Would you mind opening your larynx a little wider, please? You see, I am using your sub-vocalizations to communicate. Now, breathe deeply. That's it. That's it. That's better. Well, let's see now. I am the spirit of Christmas past, a creature from the Black Lagoon, the bride of Frankenstein.
Now, hold on. What are you trying to tell me, that you're a ghost or a creature from another planet?
Same thing, obviously.
Oh, well, that makes it all perfectly clear. Any fool can see that a disembodied voice must belong to someone from another planet.
Exactly. I'm invisible on Earth, but my superior senses spotted approaching danger and warned you of it.
Well, thanks. Thanks anyway about that. Well, what are you? One of those strange voices that warns Aunt Minnie to stay out of the elevator? Which then crashes to the basement?
Something like that.
Well, goodbye.
What's the matter?
Well, not a thing, except that I seem to be standing in the middle of 114th Street talking to an invisible alien from the farthest reaches of outer space. I suppose only I can hear you.
Well, naturally.
Oh, great. Well, you know where this sort of thing will land me.
The concept you are sub-vocalizing is not entirely clear.
Now, look, please, go back to one of my childhood traumas where you came from and let me alone. Thanks for the warning about the truck. Good night.
Where are you going?
I am going to a saloon down the street, much frequented by Columbia students.
Won't you talk with me?
Look, please, will you cut it out? There are two girls watching me now.
But you must talk to me. The real subvocal contact is very rare and astonishingly difficult. Sometimes I can get across a warning just before a dangerous moment, but then the connection fades.
Well, you mean that is the explanation of premonitions of danger?
That's right. Conditions might not be right for this kind of contact for another 100 years.
So, look, this is very interesting stuff for Professor Ryan at North Carolina, not for the physics department at Columbia. I have heard statistics about the overcrowding of mental hospitals, and I am not interested in contributing to that condition. Besides, there's a cop looking at me.
I appreciate your social situation, but this contact with me is in your own best interest. I want to protect you from the myriad dangers of human existence.
Get lost.
Well, I can't force you. I'll just have to offer my services elsewhere. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye.
Oh, just one last thing. Stay off subways tomorrow between noon and 1:15 p.m.
Why?
Someone will be killed at Columbus Circle, pushed in front of a train by shopping crowds. You, if you're there. Goodbye.
No, what? Someone will be killed there tomorrow? Are you sure?
Of course.
It'll be in the newspapers?
I should imagine so.
And you know all sorts of stuff like that?
I can perceive all the dangers that radiate toward you and extend into time. My one desire was to protect you from them.
Oh. Well, look, will you wait till tomorrow evening? Those two girls are giggling now.
You will let me be your protector?
I'll tell you tomorrow after I read the late papers. The item was there, all right. I read it in my furnished room at 113th Street. Man pushed by the crowd, lost his balance, fell in front of an oncoming train. Well, this gave me a lot to think about while I waited for my invisible protector to show up. By the time he contacted me, I didn't know that I liked the whole idea.
Don't you trust me?
I just want to lead a normal life.
If you lead any life at all. That truck last night?
That was a freak. A once-in-a-lifetime hazard.
It only takes once in a lifetime to die. There was the subway, too.
No, well, that doesn't count. I hadn't planned on riding it today.
But you had no reason not to ride it. That's the important thing. Just as you have no reason not to take a shower in the next hour.
Why shouldn't I?
A Miss Flynn who lives down the hall is now taking her shower and will leave a melting bar of pink soap on the pink tile of the bathroom floor. You would have slipped on it and suffered a sprained wrist.
Oh, not fatal, huh?
No. Hardly in the same class with, let us say, a heavy flower pot pushed from a rooftop by a certain unstable old gentleman.
Well, when is that going to happen?
I thought you weren't interested.
I am very interested. When? Where?
Will you let me continue to protect you?
Well, now, just tell me one thing. What's in this for you?
Satisfaction. For a Valadusian Derg, the greatest thrill possible is to help another creature evade danger.
But isn't there something else you want out of this? Some trifle like my soul or rulership of the earth?
Nothing. To accept payment for protection would ruin the emotional experience. All I want out of life, all any Derg wants, is to protect someone from the dangers he cannot see, but which we can see all too well. We don't even expect gratitude.
What about the flower pot?
It'll be dropped at the corner of 10th Street and McAdams Boulevard at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
10th and McAdams. Where's that?
In Jersey City.
Well, I've never been to Jersey City in my life. Why warn me about that?
I don't know where you will or won't go. I merely perceive dangers to you wherever they may occur.
What should I do now?
Anything you wish. Just lead your normal life.
It started out well enough. I attended classes at Columbia, did homework, saw movies, went on dates, played table tennis and chess, all as before. At no time did I let on that I was under the protection of a Valadusian Derg. Even Charlie didn't notice it, though he had a pretty good excuse.
Boy, are you lucky. I got stuck in that elevator for 4 hours. Say, how come you walked? I never saw you volunteer to walk 5 flights before.
Oh, well, a little bird told me.
Oh, boy, I wish I had a little bird like that.
Why don't you do something for that cold?
Why should I? What's it ever done for me?
Not even the Derg had warned me about Charlie's bad jokes in time. But he did his best. And once or twice a day, he'd come around and report.
Loose grading on West End Avenue between 66th and 67th Streets. Don't walk on it.
Of course, I wouldn't. Once I got used to it, it gave me quite a feeling of security. But the Derg soon became overzealous on my behalf. He began finding more and more dangers.
Look out for an overhanging sign on the Hotel Nacional.
Where, 48th Street?
Mexico City. Don't go to the hockey game tonight.
Where?
At Toronto. Look out for the Elm Street bus.
Philadelphia?
Omaha. Don't go surf riding today.
What? Surf riding? Where?
Papiti.
Now, just wait a minute. Do you plan on reporting every potential danger on Earth?
Oh, these are only a few, only a very few that you may be affected by.
In Mexico City, in Papiti? Why not confine yourself to the local picture? Greater New York, let's say.
Locale means nothing to me. I must protect you from everything.
Well, it was rather touching in a way, and there was nothing I could do about it. I simply had to discard from his reports the various dangers in places like Hoboken, Thailand, Kansas City, Angervat, Sarasota, and Paris. I concentrated pretty much on Manhattan. He did save me from a pretty nasty holdup on Cathedral Parkway and a 4-alarm fire. But he kept stepping up the pace.
Tainted food in Baker's Cafeteria. Don't eat there tonight. Amsterdam Bus 312 has bad brakes. Don't ride it. Mellon's Tailor Shop has a leaking gas line. Explosion due. Have your clothes dry cleaned elsewhere. Rabbit Mongrel on prowl between Riverside Drive and Central Park West. Take a taxi.
Soon I was spending most of my time not doing things and avoiding places. Danger seemed to be lurking behind every lamppost waiting for me. I rather suspected the Derg of padding his report.
All my reports are perfectly genuine. If you don't believe me, try turning on your lights in the psychology class tomorrow.
Why?
Defective wiring.
Look, I don't doubt your warnings. I just don't think life was this dangerous before you came along.
Well, of course it wasn't. Surely you know that if you accept protection, you must accept the drawbacks of protection as well.
Drawbacks like what?
Protection begets the need of further protection. That is a universal constant. Before you met me, you were like everyone else, and you ran into such risks as the situation offered. But with my coming, your immediate environment has changed, and your position in it has changed, too.
Why?
Because it has me in it. It is well known that the avoidance of one danger opens the path to others.
Are you trying to tell me that my risks have increased because of your help?
It was unavoidable.
Why, you miserable extraterrestrial con man.
Now, look.
All right. Thanks for everything. I'll see you on Mars or wherever you hang out.
You don't want any further protection?
You guessed it. Don't slam the door on your way out.
But what's wrong? Your risks have increased, but my capacity for detection is more than ample to cope with it. I'm happy to cope with it. So it still represents a net gain in protection for you.
Yeah, I know what happens next. My risks just keep on increasing, don't they?
Not at all. As far as accidents are concerned, you have reached the quantitative limit.
What does that mean?
It means that there will be no further increase in the number of accidents you must avoid.
Look, if you leave me alone, my original environment will return, won't it? And with it, my original risks?
Eventually. If you survive.
Fine. I'll take that chance.
You cannot afford to send me away tomorrow.
No, don't tell me. I'll avoid the accidents on my own.
I wasn't thinking of accidents.
What then?
I hardly know how to tell you. A gamper is after you.
Oh, a what? Now, what kind of a gag is this?
A gamper is a creature from my environment. I suppose he was attracted by your increased potentiality for avoiding risk due to my protection.
Now, look, you can take your gamper.
If he comes, try driving him off with mistletoe. Iron is often effective if bonded to copper.
Will you get
also.
out of here?
Are you sure?
Beat it. Blow. Scram. Get out. Go on.
All right. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Are you gone? Are you really gone? Good riddance. What's that? Dirk, is that you? Hey, your motor's running. Dirk? What is it? What is that? What is that? Oh, it's the gamper. Dirk, get me out of this. Dirk, get me out. Dirk, come back, Dirk.
Did you call? Oh, the gamper. Mistletoe. Wave it at the gamper.
Where in blazes am I going to get mistletoe?
Iron copper, then. Copper.
Oh, I've got a paperweight on my desk.
The chair leg is iron. Touch it with the copper. Quick. You see? You need my protection. The gamper almost got you.
Yes, it sure did.
You'll need some things. Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic, graveyard mold.
But the gamper is gone.
Yes. However, the grailers remain, and you'll need safeguard against the leaps, the figs, and the melgarizer. I'll give you a list.
He gave me a list, and I went shopping. I ran into Charlie at the supermarket.
Hey, Bob! Where you been?
Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic. They must have garlic.
Well, sure, they got garlic over here. Oh. Well, I guess you know what I came in for.
Tissues.
What else?
Well, now, let me see. Graveyard mold. You think they'd have it here?
Hey, boy, what's the matter with you? You look white as a ghost.
I'm white as a gamper, or a grailer, or a leap, or a fig.
Well, what is that, jive talk?
Please, Charlie, don't bother me. I'm busy.
All right.
Who has the nearest graveyard that would be moldy this time of year? It was a game between these extraterrestrials, and I was in it. Some of them wanted to kill me, some to protect me. None of them cared for me, not even the Dirk. And the situation was all my fault. At the beginning, I had the accumulated wisdom of the human race at my disposal. That tremendous and distinctive hatred of witches and ghosts, the irrational fear of alien life. For my adventure has been played out 1,000 times, and the story is told again and again, how a man dabbles in strange arts and summons up a spirit. By so doing, he attracts attention to himself, the worst thing of all. So I was welded inseparably to the Dirk, and the Dirk to me. Until yesterday, that is. Charlie came to my room to visit.
Hey, boy, how you been? I haven't seen you in class for a while. Oh, you mind if I hang up my coat?
No, don't. No. Don't open the closet door.
Well, what's the matter? What's in there?
Nothing. Only that's the only way to hold off the thieves, by keeping closet doors closed. The leaps are more menacing, but the eye of a toad seems to stop them. And the Melgarizer is dangerous only in the full of the moon.
Only in the... Uh-huh. Well, Bob, it's been grand. Bye.
You are in danger.
What? Who? What again? What is it this time?
It is the Thrang who pursues us.
Us?
Yes, myself as well as you. For even a Derg must run from risk and danger.
Well, is this Thrang particularly dangerous?
Very.
Well, what do I do? Snakeskin over the door? A pentagon? Burn incense? Anything?
None of these. The Thrang must be dealt with negatively by the avoidance of certain actions.
All right. What shouldn't I do?
You must not Lesnerize.
I must... Lesnerize? What's that?
Well, surely you know it's a simple, everyday human action.
Well, I probably know it under a different name. Explain.
Very well. To Lesnerize is to...
What?
It is here. The Thrang. The Thrang is here.
Derg, where are you? What should I do?
This has me.
What should I do?
It has me. I'm going to Thrang. Don't Lesnerize. Don't Lesnerize. Don't...
So I'm sitting tight now. There'll be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the thieves certainly can't harm me. No, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the problem is Lesnerizing. I must not Lesnerize, absolutely not. If I can keep from Lesnerizing, everything will pass and the chase will move elsewhere. It must. All I have to do is wait them out. Trouble is, I don't have any idea what Lesnerizing might be. A common human action, the Derg said. Well, at the moment, I'm avoiding as many actions as possible. I've caught up on some back sleep, and nothing's happened. So that's not Lesnerizing. I went out and bought food, cooked it, and ate it. That wasn't Lesnerizing. I'm telling you the story, and that isn't Lesnerizing. I'll get out of this yet. I will get out of it. I'm going to catch a nap now. I think I've caught Charlie's cold. I think I'm going to have to...
You have been listening to Protection by Robert Sheckley on X-1. X-1 is presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Survival Kit by Frederick Pohl. The story of Mooney, a smart but luckless man who had to scrounge while his friend Harse always made out well, just because he owned a survival kit. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Protection, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were William Redfield as Bob of the final and fatal sneeze, Elliot Reed as his breezy pal Charlie, and William Keane as the foreseeing Derg. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, At the Post by H.L. Gold.
When I come into the Blue Ribbon on 49th Street west of Broadway, I could tell right away nobody told Doc Hawkins about my misfortune. Doc, who ain't one really, writes a daily medical column for the Racing Form, and we're celebrating his being sprung from the alcoholic ward. He got one look at me, and he choked on a piece of gefilte fish.
What happened? What happened? Look at that. Clucker's become a character.
Now, lay off, Doc.
Look at that, a gray flannel suit, a black tie. Clucker, where is your purple and green check sports jacket? Where are your two-tone suede shoes? Why, you've become a character.
That was Zelda's idea. She wanted to make a gentleman out of him.
Wanted to? Why, you two kids got married just before they took my skates away. Don't tell me you've flipped already.
You don't know, Doc?
No. What happened?
Well, it was right after you tried to take the warts off the fire hydrant that Zelda started hearing voices. It got real bad.
How bad?
Well, she's at Glendale Center upstate. I just came back from visiting her.
Well, did the psychiatrist give you a diagnosis?
Yeah, I got it memorized. Catatonia dementia precox.
Oh, rough. Very rough. The outlook is never good in such cases.
Maybe they can't help her, but I will.
Now, Clucker, you're a race handicapper. You run the best tip sheet on Broadway. But people are not horses. You've got to think of your public. For instance, what's good at Hialeah, huh? My bar bill is about to be foreclosed, and I can use a long shot.
Those couch artists don't know what's wrong with Zelda. I do.
You do?
Well, almost. I'm so close I can hear the finish line camera clicking.
Now, that's very interesting. Perhaps we can collaborate on an article for the Psychiatric Journal.
All right, look. Look at these shots. Look, here.
Huh?
I use the same system I used to dope the races. Look, Zelda's got catatonia. She used to be a hoofer before we got married, and now she does time steps all day.
Stereotype movements are typical of catatonia.
You don't get it. She does time steps. The first thing you learn in hoofing, over and over. 10 or 15 hours a day. And she keeps talking like she's giving lessons to some jerk kid who can't get it straight. And I hear when these catatonics pull out, they don't remember much or maybe nothing.
Protective amnesia.
They work harder and longer at what they're doing than they ever did when they were regular citizens. And they don't get a red cent for it.
I beg your pardon?
I said they were getting stiffed. Anybody who works that hard ought to get paid.
I don't understand what you're getting at.
What are they knocking themselves out for if it's for free? Doc, I tell you, I miss that mouse. I gotta save her. She can't see or hear us, but she can sure see or hear something. And I'm gonna dope her.
Parker, it's too much for you.
Too much for me, huh? Who was it said Warlock had turned into a dog in his third year? Who was it had 7 winners the opening day at Belmont? You take my word for it, Doc. I'll beat the schizophrenia handicap. I hadn't been paying much attention to my tip sheet while I was doping the catatonia Taj. I tell you, I missed Zelda. I missed the bobby pins on the floor and the nylon stuck on a shower rack, the toothpaste tube squeezed from the top. I had to get her back somehow. Next day, I took a cab and went out to that place. I sat in the room and watched her dance. Oh, it was something. Because Zelda was worth watching, even with her eyes blank and her feet shuffling through that simple time step.
Mr. Locke, visiting time is almost up.
All right. Zelda. Listen, Zelda. How long can they take to learn a time step?
She can't hear you.
Look, kid, I don't know who these squares are that you're working for, but tell them if they take you, they got to take me, too. You hear? I had an idea now. I had a dope that Zelda was showing them how to dance, whoever they are. And the only way I could spring her was to find out who was controlling her and what they were after. The first step was to get them interested in me, and what I know about racing, doping horses. So I stood there next to Zelda, and I started to talk. Now, the first thing you got to figure is bloodlines. You take a horse, you got to know back maybe 4 or 5 generations on both sides. Then you got to know where the coat was foaled, what time of year, because all horses are 1 year old on the 1st of January. Then there's confirmation, training. You take a horse with good bloodlines, break him in the spring on a hard training surface track, and the first thing you know, you got a horse with a shin splint. Or they may cover it up, but if you know it's there. I once knew a horse ran in Hialeah who was scared of flamingos.
What are you doing?
Had a fine record at Gulfstream and Bowie. But when he got down to Hialeah and got one look at the flamingos, he wouldn't run for beans.
Mr. Locke, are you all right?
Shut up, I'm
Mr.
busy.
Locke.
You bet on a horse that's scared of flamingos at Hialeah, and you're going to come in with your tail between your legs. I kept coming back every day. I'd just sit there next to Zelda while she did a time step, and I'd talk about horses over and over. And then finally, I started to hear voices.
Clocker, Clocker, this way, Clocker, come this way. This way, Clocker, come on now, come with me.
Like it was a fog, I could see the attendant in his white coat asking me questions, and I couldn't hear him. I knew I just kept on talking about the horses. And then suddenly I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. I was in a big square, and the buildings looked like the new Roosevelt Raceway, all modern. Or maybe like the World's Fair. There were trees and statues, and there were hundreds of people standing around, and they all looked scared. There was a little man with bifocals and a vest with pins and needles in it standing next to me. He looked scared. But I knew it had worked. I was on my way to Zelda.
How did I get here? Excuse me, mister. How did I get here?
I don't know.
I can't take time for pleasure trips. I've got a customer coming in tomorrow for a fitting. She'll positively murder me if her dress isn't ready.
She can't murder you. Not anymore.
You mean we're dead?
Don't ask me, but I don't think you're dead. That much I can tell you. Some of the people in the crowd were complaining they had families to take care of, while others were worried about leaving their businesses. And they all grew quiet when a man climbed up on a big platform in front. He was a very tall and dignified guy, and he had formal clothes and a white beard like the chief mourner at a politician's funeral.
Ladies and gentlemen, please feel at ease. You are not in any danger. No harm will come to you. If you will listen carefully to this orientation lecture, you will know where you are and why.
What is it? I don't understand.
It's a pitch.
Friends, I know you are puzzled at all this. Now let me explain. You've been chosen, yes, carefully screened and selected, to help us in what is undoubtedly the greatest cause of all history. You will learn more about it as we work together in this vast and noble experiment.
What experiment? What is it?
I got it picked. This is a pitch. These guys are out for something. Smells like a con.
Let me state this in its simplest terms. Now, you know that there are billions of stars in the universe and that the stars have planets. A good many of these planets are inhabited. In almost all instances, the dominant form of life is quite different from yours. I am not of your planet or solar system. I am not formed as you see me. My true appearance would seem to be rather confusing to human eyes.
Nuts, get to the point.
The truth is, we are not here, and neither are you. Here is a projection of thought, a hypothetical point in space, a place that exists only by mental force. Actually, our bodies are on our own respective planets.
What's he saying? What does he mean?
Wait, he'll give us the convincer after the build-up.
Our civilization is considerably older than yours. For many of your centuries, we have explored the universe both physically and telepathically, and during this exploration, we discovered your planet. We tried to establish communication, but there were grave difficulties. And it was the time of your dark ages. And I'm sorry to report that those people we did make contact with were generally burned at the stake.
Here it comes. He's getting ready to slip us the sting.
I don't think you ought to say a thing like that about a fine, decent gentleman. He's obviously very sincere.
The problem we face is that the human race is doomed. The history of your race is a record of incessant wars, each more devastating than the last. And now, finally, man has chained the power of worldwide destruction. The next war, or the one after that, will unquestionably be the end not only of civilization, but of humanity, perhaps even of your entire planet. Then, why have we brought you here? Because man, in spite of his suicidal blunders, is a magnificent race. He must not vanish without leaving a complete record of his achievements. Now, this is the task we must work together on. Each of you has a skill, a talent, a special knowledge we need for the immense record we're compiling. Every area of human society must be covered. And so we need you urgently. Your data will become part of an imperishable social document that shall exist untold eons after mankind has vanished.
Oh, he had a slick con. He had that crowd in the palm of his hand like a small-time grifter selling pearl necklaces on 6th Avenue. They all cheered. They were all flattered to think that they were joining in this vast project to make a record of the human race. After a while, they broke us up into divisions, and I got herded into a building marked Sports and Rackets. They took my name and my occupation like I was applying for unemployment insurance.
Now, here's our problem, Mr. Locke. We're making two kinds of perpetual records. One is written, more precisely microscribed. The other is a wonderfully exact duplicate of your cerebral pattern, in more durable material than brain matter, of course.
Of course.
The substance we use in place of brain cells absorbs memory quite slowly. But you'll be happy to know that the impression once made can never be lost or erased.
Delighted, tickled to pieces.
I knew you would be. Well, let's proceed, shall we? First, a basic description of horse racing.
I started telling them about horse racing, but they held me down to one sentence. They said I had to repeat it over and over so that recording thing could get it. They had a picture of my body back on Earth lying in a bed in a hospital just saying that one sentence over and over again.
Well, that's enough for today. Isn't it amazing? We have a more detailed record of human society than man himself ever had. Your life, my life, the life of this Zelda, whom you came here to rescue, all are trivial, for we must all die eventually. But the project will last eternally.
You're telling me you know what I'm here for?
To secure the return of your wife. I would naturally be aware that you'd submitted yourself to our control voluntarily. It was in your file that was sent to me by admissions.
Then why did you let me in?
Because, my dear friend, we also...
Leave out the friend pitch. I'm here on business.
As you wish. We let you in, as you express it, because you have knowledge that we should include in our archives. We hoped you'd recognize the merit and scope of our undertaking. Most people do once they're told.
Zelda, too?
Oh, yes. Yes, Zelda's extremely cooperative, quite convinced. Would you like to see her?
Yeah, sure I would.
Well, that can be arranged. I'll call the Arts and Entertainment section and arrange a meeting.
Zelda, baby.
Clocker.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, hello, Clocker.
Aren't you glad to see me? I spent months and shot every dime I've got just to find you.
For sure I'm glad to see you, hon, but I can't waste any time. This work is so important.
I want to talk to you. That con artist with the white beard
said... isn't he wonderful, Clocker? Aren't they all wonderful? Regular scientists devoting their whole lives to this terrific cause.
What's so wonderful about that?
They could let the Earth go boom. It wouldn't mean a thing to them. Everybody wiped out, just like there never were any people. Not even as much record of us as the dinosaurs. Gee, wouldn't that make you feel simply awful?
I wouldn't feel a thing. All I'm worried about is us, baby. Who cares about the rest of the world doing a disappearing act?
I do, and so do they. They aren't selfish like some people I could mention.
Selfish? You're darn right I am. Zelda, listen. I'm selfish because I got a wife and I'm nuts about her and I want her back.
I have to help out on this project. It's the least I can do for history.
History? What did history ever do for us? Go turn in your time card, baby. Tell them you got a date with me back on Earth.
No, this is my job as much as theirs. More even. They don't keep anybody here against their will. I'm staying because I want to, Clocker.
But, honey...
Excuse me, I've got to get back. I'm teaching them the soft shoe now.
Are you satisfied now, Mr. Locke?
Listen, take away the doom push and his racket falls. Listen, suppose you're all square. Suppose you're leveling. You're knocking yourself out because your guess is we're going to commit suicide.
But is there any doubt of it? Do you honestly believe the Holocaust can be averted?
I think it can be stopped, yeah. Listen, between these catatonics and me, we could tell them what it's all about. I notice you got people from all over the world here. They get along fine because they have a job to do and don't have time to hate each other. Well, it could be like that back on Earth.
Mr. Locke, we have experimented in the manner you suggest, but a human psychological mechanism defeated us.
Yeah? What was that?
Protective amnesia. They completely and absolutely forgot everything they'd learned here.
Well, what are the odds on me remembering?
Well, you are our first volunteer.
Look, I'll give you a deal. You let me out, and maybe I'll be the first case that didn't get amnesia, and I can tell the world all about this. I'll come back if I lame out. You can pick me up any time you want. But if I make headway, you gotta let Zelda go, too.
That's a very reasonable proposition. We'll lift our control, Mr. Locke, for a suitable time. If you can arouse a measurable opposition to racial suicide, measurable, mind you, then we agree to release your wife and revise our policy completely.
I came to at Glendale. It took me about 2 weeks to convince them that I was all right again. But I had to convince the world that they were throwing a race and that they needed a saliva test. So I started to write it all out in my tip sheet, in and around the horses. Around that time, I ran into Doc.
Clocker, my boy, you've no idea how anxious we were about you. But you're looking fit, I'm glad to say.
Thanks. I wish I could say the same about you and the rest of the world.
No need to worry about us. We'll muddle along somehow.
You think so, huh?
I'm glad to see you've got your tip sheet going again. As long as the bobtails run, who cares what happens to anything else?
Of course, nobody listened to me. I had posters printed telling everybody. I hired sandwichmen to walk through the city. I made speeches in Columbus Circle. I told everybody doomsday was near. I sent letters to Congress, to the UN, editors of newspapers. Nobody paid any attention. I sneaked into the balcony of the General Assembly and tried to shout a speech, and they threw me out. Very polite. I wrote the whole thing up for a magazine, and they printed it and sent me a check and told me if I had any more fiction, they'd be glad to run it. They kept trying to tell everybody the truth about the catatonics. We ought to go to the hospitals and get ourselves let in and have the aliens take over and show us where we're going. But nobody would listen. And then finally, I went back out to Glendale.
Oh, Mr. Locke, we were wondering when you'd come visit your wife. You've been away?
I want my old room back.
But you're perfectly normal.
Give me half hour alone, and you'll be glad to give me my room. Well, here I am back again.
Oh, Mr. Locke.
Okay, I'll give you all the rest of the dope on racing. You won't have any trouble with me.
Then you're convinced you failed.
I'm no dummy. I know when I'm licked.
So do we, Mr. Locke. Naturally, you have no way of detecting the effect you've had. We do. The result is that because of your experiment, we're gladly revising our policy.
Huh? Is this a rib? Nobody listened to me.
Oh, but they did. Visits to catatonics have increased considerably. When the visitors are alone with our human associates, they tentatively follow the directions you gave them in your article. Not all do, to be sure, only those who feel as strongly about being with their loved ones as you do about your wife. We've accepted 4 voluntary applicants.
You mean I made it?
That's right. Before long, we shall have to increase our staff as the numbers of voluntary applicants increases geometrically, and then we'll be able to release the first group to go back and carry the message. Whenever you care to, Mr. Locke, you and your wife are free to leave.
Okay, but I'll tell you what. I owe you plenty. I'll help make that record before I go. I'll teach you how to dope the horses. Is that what you want?
Why, yes.
All right, then let's go. The quicker we get started, the quicker we can get back.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features A Touch of E-Flat by Joe Gibson, a story with a warning. Never let anyone point any weapon at you, even something as harmless-looking as a water pistol. It may be a cooling gun. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you At the Post, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by H.L. Gold and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Frank Maxwell as the clocker, and Thomas as his time-stepping wife, Zelda, Arnold Moss as the otherworldly one, John Griggs as the doc who wasn't one really, and Sam Raskin as the confused little tailor with his mouth full of pins. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
When the powerful diesel-motored cruiser bearing the Gregory party swept away from the Magic Island, their escape seemed perfect. With only enough oil on board to run the motors a short time, a radio message from Johnson saying he was dropping drums of oil with lighted buoys along their course cheered them on. Then, just 50 miles from Euclidia, the motors sputtered and went dead. And barely in time, the first oil drum was sighted and picked up. But it's now 3 hours later, nearly midnight, and the motors of the Gregory boat have not turned over since the oil drum was taken aboard. They will never run on the oil from that drum, because the drum contained not oil, but turpentine. In the inky blackness of the subtropic night, Captain Bradford and Jerry stand at the rail near the stern of the helpless boat.
Gee, Tex, we've only made about 2 miles in the last 3 hours. That won't do us any good.
I know it, Jerry, but there isn't a thing we can do about it. That little scrap of sail is all we can hang on to. And even in a stiff breeze, we couldn't make over 4 or 5 knots. And with this deadly calm that's all around us, we're lucky to hold her steady.
Why can't we add more sail, Tex? Oh, we've got plenty of canvas, and we could lash a long spar to the mast and hang it on there. It might not look so good, but it'd catch a lot more wind than that dinky little thing.
I don't think I haven't thought of all those things, Jerry. That would only make matters worse if we got a real breeze.
How come? I thought the more sail, the more speed.
Well, that's okay up to a certain point. And on a vessel, it was intended for sail. But the mast on this boat was only an afterthought, to use as a radio aerial, and for a little auxiliary sail at times. If you really hung enough canvas on that mast to kick this boat along at good speed, she'd bury her nose so deep we'd never come up. The mast is too far forward. We haven't got keel enough for a canoe. Just won't handle as a sailboat.
Gee, Captain Bradford, it doesn't look so hot for us.
No, kid. We could be a lot better off than we are now.
8 bells, midnight. And we're just about as close to that island as we were when we picked up that oil drum 3 hours ago.
Afraid so, Jerry. We haven't made more than a couple of miles. 3 at the most.
And those Euclidean guys have had 3 hours to wake up and start doing things about catching us.
Yes, and I think that formula of mine, which put them to sleep, might be wearing off any time now, too.
Don't you think we ought to call Johnson, Tex?
I hate to do it. Means that steamer will have to turn around, bring him back here to us, and then probably be captured along with Johnson and all the rest of them.
I'm sorry for Mrs. Gregory.
Yeah, it's been mighty hard on her, all right.
Well, it doesn't matter so much about you and me. After all, we're men, and we can stand a lot more than women can. But poor Mrs. Gregory's been hunting for Joan all over the world for 14 years. And now she's found her. Well, it looks like maybe she'll never get back home.
Well, we mustn't give up, kid. We found that crazy island, which the rest of the world didn't know existed. We spent a lot of days there, and we got away. That's more than anybody else ever did.
Yeah, but don't forget about the old sailor they turned loose just long enough for him to broadcast the radio message that brought us here. They took him back to the island, and, well, that was the end of him.
Yes, I know, but nothing like that's going to happen to us.
And say, we never did find the old sailor's diary. I wish Joan and I could have had time to look for it when we went down inside the island.
Oh, it's no use. Anyway, I think Joan knows as much or more about that place as that poor old man ever did.
Oh, gee, I just can't stand here and look at the dark any longer.
Well, what else can we do?
Well, we can walk around the deck, That's better than standing still.
Well, all right, here we go, son. May not do any good, but it certainly can't hurt anything. I'm getting like you. I've got to do something to keep from thinking what a jam we're in.
Well, I guess we might just as well stand at the rail and watch the stars again for a while. Well, I thought I couldn't stand still, and now I'm getting tired of this walking. Well, we must have gone around the deck hundreds of times, Tex.
Yes, we've been on it for hours, son. I only hope Joan and her mother are getting some sleep. They put out the light in their cabin a couple of hours ago. Good thing we had those oil lights on board. Otherwise, we'd have to stay in the dark all the time to save the juice for the radio.
Gee, 8 bells again. 4 o'clock in the morning. We've walked around that deck for 4 hours.
Yes, but our walking was like our thinking. We didn't get anywhere.
Hey, look. The light in Mrs. Gregory's cabin.
Oh, we must have kept them awake walking around this deck.
I'll bet they weren't any more asleep than we were.
No, I expect not. It hasn't been a very restful night for anyone.
Oh, Tex. Jerry,
Hello?
Yes, Pat?
come here, you two. Will you please?
Sure. Coming right up.
What's the matter, Pat? Something bothering you and Joan?
Nothing more than usual, Tex. It's just this waiting. Waiting. Waiting for what?
Haven't you and Joan been able to sleep at all?
Why, oh, you're all dressed, Mrs. Gregory. I'll bet you didn't even try to sleep.
Yes, I did, Jerry. But it wasn't any good.
Is Joan dressed, too?
Yes. Joan, dear.
Yes, Mother?
Come out on deck, dear. We may just as well talk to Tex and Jerry as to stay in there alone and worry.
I think there is no value in worrying. We can do nothing but wait.
Oh, golly whiskers. What can we do but worry while we're waiting?
I haven't been able to think of anything sensible to do.
I guess none of us have been any too bright about that. It'll soon be daylight. We may be able to hail a passing ship then.
And the Euclideans will surely be fully recovered from the effects of your gas, Captain, and they will be out here after us.
Well, we'd be just as well off on that crazy island as we are out here drifting around in the Pacific Ocean.
But the Euclideans will not be inclined to treat us kindly if they take us back there now.
I've been wondering just what their attitude will be.
You don't think they'd do anything terrible to us, do you?
I think our lives will be safe until G47 gets the captain's formula. But they have many ways of making life very unpleasant.
Yeah, and I'll bet old G47 remembers them all for us.
Well, let's walk around the deck. Jerry and I put in 4 hours at it, and it does help to pass the time away.
I'll say we walked around the deck. I was going to count how many times we did, but I lost track somehow.
I will count the revolutions we complete, Jerry, and you figure how far we travel. That will give us something to do at least.
Gee, I'm all in.
I, too, am very tired.
How about you, Pat?
I think this is as far as I care to go. It's broad daylight now, and we've seen nothing but water. And then more water.
Oh, let's go in the cabin and sit down a while.
Might as well, I guess.
8 bells. 8 o'clock in the morning. And we are very little farther from the island than we were at 9 o'clock last night.
How far has that sail actually carried us, Tex?
Oh, maybe 20, 25 miles in the 11 hours.
Oh, golly. We might as well be standing still.
Well, let's go in the cabin. Ought to be a little juice left in the batteries. I'm afraid the time has come for that last message to Johnson. Go on in, everybody.
Well, I'll find the oil lamp and light it.
I'll lie down and let you do the work, Tex.
Go ahead, Pat. Never mind the light, Jerry. We'll leave this door open. The daylight is good enough. We may even need the little bit of oil in the lamps pretty badly before we get out of this.
Okay, Tex.
I will just sit here on the couch with Mother. My feet do not feel very comfortable.
I wouldn't think so. Now, you three keep quiet, as I'll likely get a mighty weak signal out of this thing if I get any at all.
Gee, there's not much juice there. The tubes aren't even getting hot.
Going to be awful slow work if we ever get them hot.
You're going to tell Johnson our position is hopeless, aren't you, Tex? And see if he can't turn that boat around and come after us.
Well, I hate to do it, Pat, but we don't seem to have any choice. Quiet now, I'm going to try it. J24 wide or J12C? Hello, J12C? Bradford to Johnson. Hello? Hello, Johnson? QSN? Johnson. QSN, Bradford.
I don't think you're getting out far enough, Tex.
Fred, you're right, kid. We'll just leave it open a minute and see if we can pick up anything before the batteries die entirely out.
I am very much afraid, Captain Bradford, that the Euclideans will have their radios operating by this time, and your message will be picked up.
Tex knows that, dear. But it doesn't matter now. We're almost sure to get caught after all these hours. And if we can get one last message to Johnson, it will give us a thread of hope at least.
Hey, listen, everybody.
What is it, kid?
I mean, quiet. Listen for something.
Yes, I hear it.
It sounds like an airplane.
But where would an airplane come from?
From Euclidia, Jerry.
Quiet, everybody. Yep, that's it, all right. Well, we did our best.
But, Tex, there may be some hope. That plane doesn't have to be from Euclidia.
Oh, I guess there isn't any other place it could be from.
Oh, it is a Euclidean plane.
Euclidean plane to Captain Bradford. Hello, Bradford. Waiting.
Will you answer him, Tex?
Guess I'd better.
Yeah, he might drop a bomb on us if you don't.
Bradford to plane. Go ahead.
You will drop your sail. Stand by. Lay to for submarine. Drop your bow anchor. You will be towed to Euclidia.
Lay to and stand by for boarding. We'll drop sail.
It is well. That is all. Remember that resistance on your part can mean but one thing. That is all.
Hey, I'm going out and get a look at that plane.
No, kid, you stay here. Pat, you and Joan run and tell the skipper and McLeod to take off the canvas and drop the bow anchor.
We will do it at once, Captain.
What are you and Jerry going to do, Tex?
I've just got an idea. Now, don't worry. We won't do anything foolish. Now, run along and tell the skipper.
We'll hurry, Tex.
Now, what do you want me to do?
Nothing, kid. I just wanted to get Pat and Joan out of here a minute while I tell you something that may prove mighty dangerous to you. But I've got an idea that when we land on the Magic Island this time, we're really going to be prisoners. We may be separated. So there's a few things you'll have to know.
Okay, I'm ready. What are they?
There goes the anchor. I wonder how long it'll be before that sub fixes up.
Commander S1 to Captain Bradford. S1 to the Gregory boat.
Gee, Tex, it's the same girl commander who helped us escape.
Yeah, but she can't do us any good now.
Captain Bradford, you will answer at once. I can hear your open beam.
Bradford to Commander S1. So we meet again. The bow anchor is out for you. Sail being taken down. That all?
That is all. You were wise to follow instructions. Captain, have you a landing stage aboard?
I have. On the port side.
You will make it ready at once. I will personally board you. That is all.
Gee, Tex, the commander's coming aboard herself.
Yeah, she's going to make sure we don't try any tricks.
No, Tex, she's coming aboard so she can get a chance to talk to us before we get back to the island. She's going to help us out.
I'm afraid not, Jerry. When we get back to Euclidia this time, we're done for.
Don't you believe it. That girl's on our side. You'll see when she gets here.
It was easy enough for the Gregory party to find the magic island of Euclidia, but it seems impossible for them to leave it. When Jerry and Joan rendered most of the equipment on the island useless, and the chemical formula of Captain Bradford's put many of the Euclideans to sleep, the Gregory boat left the island in safety. However, they ran out of fuel oil after an hour's run, and a drum of oil left floating on their course proved to be not oil but turpentine. So the helpless boat heaves to and is standing by now to be boarded and towed back to Euclidia by a submarine. Jerry and Joan, Mrs. Gregory, and Captain Bradford stand at the rail, waiting for the submarine.
But I tell you, that woman submarine commander's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, but don't be too sure of that, Jerry. She's coming out to capture us, isn't she?
That is something she cannot refuse to do, Captain Bradford. Her safety and any value she might have as a friend lie in the fact that the Euclideans do not suspect her.
I think that's reasonable enough, Tex.
Well, I'm not so sure, Pat.
Well, we haven't any choice. We're going to be towed back to G47 and his mad colony, and I, for one, have no interest in the person who takes us back.
Oh, you mustn't feel so hopeless, Mrs. Gregory. Why, that girl let the gas in the chemical laboratory put her to sleep just so she could help us before. Maybe she'll find some way to help us again.
You are right, Jerry. Commander S1 will aid us again if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, but I've got a notion that after the way we handled him, old G47 is going to make it his business to see that no such opportunity gets a chance to present itself.
I wonder how close the sub was when she called us on the radio.
Would there be any way of knowing that, Tex?
No, and it wouldn't do any good if we did know. Thinking about getting a last-minute message to Johnson, weren't you, Jerry?
Yeah, I thought we might as well try it.
That would be of no help, Jerry. Johnson is too far away to come to our assistance now.
Yeah, not only that, but the batteries are so weak the set probably won't work more than a few miles.
Johnson might be trying to call us, though. Don't you think one of us should stay in the cabin with the radio?
Well, I'll go in if you want me to, sir.
And I will go with you, Jerry.
Okay, Joan, come on.
Hold it a minute.
Yeah?
You and I'll stay here by this landing stage, kid. Let Joan and her mother go in the cabin and listen to the set. They can watch the sub through the porthole. It might be just as well for our party to be split up at this time.
Tex, what do you expect?
Oh, anything from these crazy Euclideans. But it's just possible Jerry and I might see something to be done.
I think that is well, Mother. We will go. You must be diplomatic, Jerry, and do nothing to irritate the commander.
You'll be careful, won't you, Tex?
Why, sure, honey. Don't worry. Go with Joan.
Hey, what do you think we can do when the submarine gets ready to board us?
Nothing, son. Not a thing. I'm not sure what kind of treatment we expect from the crew of the submarine. And if anything not so good happens, just as well to have Joan and Pat out of the way.
Now, look, Tex. I know that girl's on our side, and there's no use worrying about it. She runs that boat all alone with a one-man crew, and he'll have to stay with the boat. So she'll come aboard here alone, and she won't do anything to hurt us.
You mean she did run the boat alone when you and Joan rode in the submarine with her? But G-47 and his scientists will be plenty sore now. There may be a half a dozen up on that boat.
Oh, what could they do to us?
They could decide that it was just a waste of time to tow this boat back to the Magic Island.
You mean they'd sink the boat?
Yeah, and they'd forget to take us off of it before they sunk it.
Gee whiz. But your formula, Tex. They can't do anything to you until they get the formula.
I'm not entirely sure they haven't got it.
Oh, they couldn't have it. We know Johnson got the message off the pigeons we sent, and that's... Hey, the boat's rocking a whole lot more.
Yes, I think your girlfriend and her submarine are playing around under us here somewhere now.
Golly whiskers. There it is, Tex. There's the nose of the sub.
Yes, sir. Sticking straight up out of the water. I could almost reach out and touch it.
Better not. They'll be throwing open the port and the nose of it in a minute, and that thing's plenty heavy.
Look how it stands there, Jerry. Steady as a rock. Those Euclideans certainly know their stabilization principles.
I think I heard a noise inside the nose of that thing. They must be ready to open it. Boy, look at that. The whole end of it opens up.
They sure hit that landing stage neatly.
Here comes the commander.
You were right, Jerry. She is one of the most beautiful girls I ever saw. Well, we'd better help her up to the landing stage.
That will not be necessary. I personally stabilized the submarine. At this point, I can easily step to the landing stage.
Mighty independent, isn't she?
She's coming aboard alone, too. What did I tell you?
I hope you're right. Sorry we can't offer you more hospitality, Commander, but we're rather helpless here.
You need not apologize, Captain Bradford. I would hardly expect more from one who would attempt such a foolhardy escape as yours.
Well, we figured it was worth trying. Welcome to the ill-fated boat, Commander.
The ill fate of this boat is only in the contemplative stage now.
I got that one. You mean old G-47 hasn't had time yet to figure out anything mean enough to do to us?
For one who speaks such a strange jargon as you, Hall, your understanding is surprising at times.
Oh, I'm all here.
Enough of this. You understand what must happen, Captain?
I'm afraid I do. You're to tow us to the island, and again we will be prisoners.
Exactly. But there is more. This time, you will not be allowed the freedom you previously enjoyed. You will be prisoners, in fact.
You mean we'll be put in those confinement cells?
Precisely.
Well, it will surprise me pleasantly if that's the worst that happens to us.
That will be only the beginning. Where are Mrs. Gregory and Cleostra?
Well, Mrs. Gregory and Joan are in the radio cabin.
Will you take me to them at once? We have little time.
Might I ask what you want to see them about?
I wish to explain to them that they will accompany me in the submarine, and I wish to explain to them privately.
You're going to take Pat and Joan with you in the sub?
And the captain and I stay here while you drag this boat in by the anchor?
Precisely. Will you hurry and take me to them?
No use arguing, Tex. She'd use that ray gun in a minute. And if anything happened to her, well, old SC-1 out there in the sub would finish us.
I was thinking of something else. Take the commander to the radio cabin, Jerry. I'll give orders to Mac and the skipper.
Okay, if you say so. This way, Commander. Watch your step on this deck. We got a couple of piles of canvas around here.
Hurry, Hall. I will need no guide.
Well, I guess you're never too old to learn. Skipper, McLeod.
Aye, Captain.
Come here a minute, will you?
I've just been waiting for a chance to come over and ask you if it's real or not.
That sub? It's real enough, all right.
Aye, and it just stands there with its nose out of the water while the girl captain looks out of a boat over there. This is a mad business, Captain Bradford.
That's mild, Mac. But here's the orders for the next step.
All right, Captain.
Now, we're to be towed back to Euclidia by that sub. They'll submerge and level it off. Then pick up our bow anchor with a magnetic fin in the stern of that thing. All we can do is to stand by and wait for results.
And when we get to the island, what then?
That's what we can only guess at. But I wanted to warn you that once we're on the island, do just as you're told. And say nothing.
I understand all that right.
Well, that's all, Mac. Relay that to Skipper, will you?
Aye, sir. I will that. And if you don't understand it any better than I do, we both know nothing.
Well, I can't say I blame you much. Oh, hello, Commander. Leaving us so soon?
I will return immediately to my command. The ladies are going to accompany me. It may afford me an opportunity to give them a bit of advice. Please see that they join me as quickly as possible. G47 will be very impatient.
Okay, Commander. I'll hurry them along.
Hurry, Joan, dear.
Coming, Mother.
The Commander's waiting for you, Pat.
I know it. But there were one or two little things I had to do before leaving.
I am all ready now, Mother. Is Jerry not here yet?
I thought the kid was with you.
The commander sent him to your cabin for something. He will explain after we're gone. Oh, Tex, I'm so afraid of all this.
Well, keep your chin up, Pat. We'll be seeing you on the island in a couple of hours.
Yes, Mother. There is nothing to worry about. And we must hurry. The commander is motioning us to come aboard the submarine.
Come then, Joan, dear. We'll have to make the best of it. And goodbye, Tex.
Remember, Pat, chin up. Good luck.
Thank you, Captain.
Well, there she goes. I wonder where all this will end.
Hey, Tex.
Yes, Jerry, hurry up. The sub is submerging.
You'd better come here a minute. I got something to show you.
All right, son. Hold it there. I'm coming.
I'm around here in the radio cabin, Tex. I'm sorry I had to yell at you to come here, but I was afraid to be seen around on that side of the boat.
What's it all about, kid?
Well, I think we'd better shut the cabin door. We can't do any good by watching the top of the water anyhow.
You sound mighty mysterious. Well, there it is. What's on your mind?
Well, look. Now, you know Joan and I had a couple of those Euclidean 5-minute ray guns? And those two big ones we took off the guards?
Yes, I know. What about them?
Oh, that girl commander brought us some of the little cylinders you slip inside them. Kind of like a reload.
She did, huh? Well, have you got them all fixed up now?
Yeah, here they are. We'd better keep them hidden in our clothes. The commander was supposed to take them away from us.
Well, what excuse can she offer for not having them when we get back to the island?
Well, she said she could think of some excuse by the time we got there.
Sounds like the submarine must be hooked onto our bow anchor.
Yeah. The boat's beginning to roll a little. Guess we'll make it to the island in a couple of hours.
Yeah, and with these ray guns, Jerry, we've got a chance to do something after we get on the island. But listen, we'll have to watch our step.
The commander said to leave that guard tied up where we've got him till we get to the island.
Yeah, a lot of good he did us. Couldn't get a word out of him.
Well, we might have if we could have had only taken him farther from the... Hey, Tex, the boat's listing pretty bad.
Yeah, guess that bow anchor line is straining crooked.
No, something funny's going on here.
What's up, Skipper?
Listing.
Yeah, I just noticed it.
That anchor pulling crooked?
No.
What's wrong, then?
Leaking.
This boat's leaking?
Aye.
What from?
Hole.
We're shipping water through a hole? How did a hole get in this boat?
Chop.
Who could have done it?
Prisoner.
That Euclidean guard got loose. Well, where is he now?
Gone.
Golly whiskers.
Some things are better than others, but that we should never say that anything is wrong, that it has no value. That's not true. There are things that are wrong. Yes, some things are just plain wrong. No rightness about them. Atomic war is one of those things. If we get started on real atomic war... You see, ordinary war destroys men. Atomic war can destroy humanness by producing mutations that aren't human. But there's another thing that's wrong, too. And that's the wrongness of fooling yourself. Not merely others, but fooling yourself. And that's tonight's story.
And you say the annual budget of this institution is $8 million, Dr. Hawley?
That's right, Senator Bryan. $8 million a year for the care and feeding of...
The freaks, Doctor?
Oh, we try never to think of them as freaks, Senator, and never to speak of them that way. Some of them have unusually sensitive hearing.
Yes, but they are...
Well, they're mutants, Senator. Genetic sports created by radioactive fallout. You might say they're martyrs to the criminal stupidity of the 20th century.
Well, is it compulsory for a mutant to live in an institution like this? I confess I'm not completely familiar with the legal aspect.
Compulsory? No, Senator. It's not compulsory. But it's often simpler for a mutant to live within these walls than out there in the world at large.
So I can understand that.
80% of them have come here voluntarily.
And the rest?
Committed by relatives who couldn't stand the sight of them. But, come, let me show you some of the patients, Senator. That's Anna over there. You'll notice I didn't bother knocking. Anna doesn't hear sound. When she wants privacy, she just bolts her door.
But, what is she doing?
Thinking.
That's all? Just thinking?
Well, that's all she ever does, Senator. She's busy working on a new cosmological theory. Come, Senator. We're disturbing her concentration. Let's try another room. Now, there are many different types of mutations, of course, Senator. Hardly any two are alike. And some of our patients are simply physically deformed. You know, an extra limb, a strange texture of skin, differences like that. But others are more or less normal physically, but have unusual mental ability. And still others, like Anna here, well, they're both deformed and mentally unusual. Now, in this room, we have a pair of remarkable mutants.
Dr. Hawley, what's that coming up the hall toward us?
It's Merrick, one of our more interesting patients.
You let them wander around the hall?
This isn't a prison, Senator. Hello there, Merrick. Where are you heading?
Taking a little walk, Dr. Hawley.
This is Senator Bryan. He's paying us a visit here today. He's on the Senate Appropriations Committee.
How interesting. I'm leaving here, Dr. Hawley, right now.
Leaving? But you haven't been out of here in 10 years, Merrick.
I've decided to give the world another chance.
You know the rules, Merrick. If you volunteer to come in as a patient, you have to give 3 months' notice. Now, that way we can prepare you for life in the outside world.
I'm leaving right now, Doctor. 10 minutes after I'm gone, you will forget all about this. You'll remember there was once a Clyde Merrick here, but according to your records, he was discharged today, September 4th, 2019. You go directly to the recording computer and make the change. And as for you, Senator, whatever your name, you will have no recollection whatever of this conversation. And when you return to Washington, you will do your best to see that Dr. Hawley's appropriation is increased. Is all that clear? Good. Goodbye, Dr. Hawley. Thank you for everything.
Very well, Senator. Let's continue our little tour now. Suppose I let you see our recreational therapy wing now.
It's all right, Doctor. I don't feel very well. Could we sit down and rest for a while? The oddest sensation in my head. It's as if I fell asleep for a few minutes. And a very strange dream. A young man talking to me.
Maybe a little fresh air. It's rather warm in here.
Yes. Fresh air would be good.
Straight through that corridor. It'll take you to the courtyard. I'll be with you in just a moment. I have to stop in at the office and make an entry on a patient's record. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I keep forgetting it. I'll be with you in a moment, Senator.
The danger you can't stop is the danger that, by its very nature, keeps you from seeing that it's there or knowing that you've met it. That's a hard one to stop. It camouflages itself so that you don't even know you encountered it.
Driving to town, miss?
Yes.
Yes, I am, but I never pick up strangers when I'm driving alone. But why did I stop the car?
You will give me a lift.
Sure. Climb in. Over here next to me.
Thanks. I was sure you'd change your mind.
This is an awfully lonely part of the country to be hitching a ride in. Where are you coming from?
You see that building up on the hill with the brick fence around it?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Some sort of government hospital, isn't it?
Close. It's a sanctuary for mutants. That's where I was coming from.
From the mutant sanctuary? But are you
a mutant? Do I look like one?
I don't know. You look...
How do I look? I look perfectly normal, don't I?
Yes, you look perfectly normal in every way.
Tell me how I look to you.
You're tall, blonde, blue-eyed, broad-shouldered, nice smile.
You'd say I was good-looking?
Yes. Yes, I'd say you were quite handsome.
Thank you. What's your name?
Lisa Roberts. You?
My name is Clyde Merrick.
Oh, you must work at the sanctuary, then.
Yes, that's right. I work there. This is my afternoon off, and I thought I'd hitch a ride into town for some fun.
Oh, well, you're lucky I stopped for you. I'm going all the way into town. And you know, it's funny, too. I never usually stop for strangers. Tony says I shouldn't.
Oh, who is Tony?
My fiancé.
You're going to get married, then?
That's what having a fiancé usually means. Yeah, we're getting married in December. Going for a long cruise on our honeymoon.
What do you do, Lisa?
Do? Oh, I'm a dancer. Maybe you've seen me on TV. I'm usually on every Saturday night. Not that anyone ever remembers the girl from the chorus.
I don't look at TV much, I'm afraid. Is this Tony of yours a dancer, too?
Yes, he's the leading man of the show.
You love him very much, don't you? You could never think of marrying anyone else.
You do talk strangely sometimes. I guess it's because you're around those crazy mutants all the time. Of course I love him very much. Well, what do you think?
How do you feel about mutants, Lisa?
Just the way everyone else does, I suppose.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I feel sort of pity for them. But still, pity and all makes me feel creepy to think about people with two heads and all.
None of them have two heads, Lisa. That particular mutation doesn't survive to adulthood. Most of the really strange ones die off the first few weeks of life.
No, even so, I've seen pictures of them. It's a good thing they keep themselves cooped up in their sanctuaries. Good for them and good for us.
But sometimes they leave the sanctuaries. They try to live like normal people.
But they aren't normal people.
Sometimes they can convince others that they are normal. We can be very convincing, Lisa.
We?
I'm a mutant, Lisa. I'm casting a mental projection that hides my true appearance.
Oh, no. Leave me alone. Get out of the car.
Oh, slow down. I won't hurt you. I'm very friendly. I'm a lonely person, Lisa, and you're so beautiful. You're not afraid of me, are you?
I'm not afraid of you.
Of course you aren't. You like me. You like me very much. I'm tall and broad-shouldered, and you think I'm handsome.
Very handsome.
More handsome than your fiancé, Tony.
Of course.
You're wondering what you ever saw in Tony, aren't you? You're starting to forget you ever had any liking for him at all.
I can't imagine how I could ever let myself think I cared for him.
You're forgetting him rapidly. You don't even know who Tony is now, but you know who I am, don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And you love me. You've only known me for a few minutes, but despite that, you've fallen deeply in love with me. Haven't you, Lisa?
Yes. I love you, Clyde.
And I love you, Lisa. Will you marry me, Lisa?
Of course, Clyde. Yes, I'll marry you. Darling.
Of course, it isn't really Clyde Merrick's fault. He's not responsible for what he is. He was made that way by the genetic mutations caused by too much atomic warfare. It isn't his fault. But that doesn't make him tolerable, does it? He is an intolerable menace.
Oh, that was a wonderful meal, darling. You know, I don't know how you did it. All those people waiting in line for tables, and the head waiter just took you right over to the spot.
I have ways of being persuasive.
Oh, I see. You love me?
Of course, Lisa.
We'll be married tomorrow and go far, far away. Rent a cabin somewhere and stay there for months and months and just read and fish and sleep. Oh, it sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful. Just the two of us.
I can't wait.
You're not worried about Tony, are you?
Tony? I don't know anyone named Tony, do I?
No, you don't know anyone named Tony. Come on, let's get out of here.
If you say so, darling. Where will we go?
Your car. We'll drive out into the country. You can't see the stars here in town.
You haven't paid the check.
It doesn't matter. You see them trying to stop me?
Well, no, but
I can eat for free anytime. You see? They're smiling goodbye to us.
Drive anywhere?
Take the road you were on this morning when you met me.
Of course.
Lisa.
What is it, dear?
Do you really love me? Really and truly love?
I love you, Clyde.
No. No, you don't. Not at all.
Oh, whatever do you mean?
It's no good. It isn't real. It's just another fraud.
I don't understand.
You don't love me. Not really. I've made you think you do, and you say you do, but that isn't enough. Every time I'd kiss you, every time I'd hold you in my arms, I'd know you were nothing but a puppet playing the role I made you play. Do you call that love?
Clyde, you're talking nonsense.
I wish I were. I thought I might be able to find some fulfillment outside the sanctuary, but I was wrong. What good is it all? I can fool everyone. Everyone except myself. Lisa, tell me again. How do I look to you?
Well, tall, very good-looking, blonde hair, kind of wavy, regular features.
In other words, as handsome as a video star. All right, stop the car.
Stop it? Why?
Because I want you to.
Well?
Ever since I left the sanctuary this morning, I've been projecting a false appearance. It's a power of mine. Something special I have, thanks to the otherwise unkind providence. I'm going to turn that projection off now, Lisa. Let you have a look at me as I really am. As I look without the benefit of hypnotic trickery.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Hideous. That face, those eyes, the skin.
Everything's all right now. You're starting to forget. In a moment, you'll have forgotten it. There. All better. How do you feel?
All right, Clyde.
Good. But you see, Lisa, I was wrong. I thought if I left the sanctuary at last, disguising myself as one of the normals, I could be happier. I could... But it would be a synthetic happiness. You can't live on nothing but cotton candy, Lisa. Start the car.
Yes, Clyde.
Drive up the hill to your left. And that's it, right up to those big gates. All right. Stop here. This is the sanctuary. I'm back home now. Home to stay where I belong.
Clyde, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what's happening.
You're going to turn your car around and drive home, Lisa. You're going to go home and go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have no recollection of today at all. You'll simply have lost a day. And you'll marry your Tony, and you'll be happy with him. Is that clear, Lisa?
Yes, Clyde.
All right now. You're beginning to forget me already. Say goodbye to me, Lisa.
Goodbye, Clyde.
That's right. No, don't kiss me. Back home again. Goodbye, Lisa.
The saving grace in Clyde Merrick was that while he could fool all those around him, he didn't fool himself. Some things are better than others, but we should never say that anything is wrong, that is, has no value. That's not true. There are things that are wrong. Yes, some things are just plain wrong. No rightness about them. Atomic war is one of those things. If we get started on real atomic war... You see, ordinary war destroys men. Atomic war can destroy humanness by producing mutations that aren't human. But there's another thing that's wrong, too. And that's the wrongness of fooling yourself. Not merely others, but fooling yourself. And that's tonight's story.
And you see the annual budget of this institution is $8 million, Dr. Holly?
That's right, Senator Bryan. $8 million a year for the care and feeding of...
The freaks, Doctor?
Oh, we try never to think of them as freaks, Senator, and never to speak of them that way. Some of them have unusually sensitive hearing.
Yes, but they are...
Well, they're mutants, Senator. Genetic sports created by radioactive fallout. You might say they're martyrs to the criminal stupidity of the 20th century.
Well, is it compulsory for a mutant to live in an institution like this? I confess I'm not completely familiar with the legal aspect.
Compulsory? No, Senator. It's not compulsory. But it's often simpler for a mutant to live within these walls than out there in the world at large.
So I can understand that.
80% of them have come here voluntarily.
And the rest?
Committed by relatives who couldn't stand the sight of them. But, come, let me show you some of the patients, Senator. That's Anna over there. You'll notice I didn't bother knocking. Anna doesn't hear sound. When she wants privacy, she just bolts her door.
But what is she doing?
Thinking.
That's all? Just Just thinking?
Well, that's all she ever does, Senator. She's busy working on a new cosmological theory. Come, Senator. We're disturbing her concentration. Let's try another room. Now, there are many different types of mutations, of course, Senator. Hardly any two are alike. And some of our patients are simply physically deformed. You know, an extra limb, a strange texture of skin, differences like that. But others are more or less normal physically, but have unusual mental ability. And still others, like Anna here, well, they're both deformed and mentally unusual. Now, in this room, we have a pair of remarkable mutants.
Dr. Hawley, what's that coming up the hall toward us?
It's Merrick, one of our more interesting patients.
You let them wander around the hall?
This isn't a prison, Senator. Hello there, Merrick. Where are you heading?
I'm taking a little walk, Dr. Hawley.
This is Senator Bryan. He's paying us a visit here today. He's on the Senate Appropriations Committee.
How interesting. I'm leaving here, Dr. Hawley, right now.
Leaving? But you haven't been out of here in 10 years, Merrick.
I've decided to give the world another chance.
You know the rules, Merrick. If you volunteer to come in as a patient, you have to give 3 months' notice. Now, that way we can prepare you for life in the outside world.
I'm leaving right now, Doctor. 10 minutes after I'm gone, you will forget all about this. You remember there was once a Clyde Merrick here, but according to your records, he was discharged today, September 4th, 2019. You go directly to the recording computer and make the change. And as for you, Senator, whatever your name, you will have no recollection whatever of this conversation. And when you return to Washington, you will do your best to see that Dr. Hawley's appropriation is increased. Is all that clear? Good. Goodbye, Dr. Hawley. Thank you for everything.
Very well, Senator. Let's continue our little tour now. Suppose I let you see our recreational therapy wing now.
It's all right, Doctor. I don't feel very well. Could we sit down and rest for a while? The oddest sensation in my head. It's as if I fell asleep for a few minutes. I had a very strange dream. A young man talking to me.
Maybe a little fresh air. It's rather warm in here.
Yes. Fresh air would be good.
Straight through that corridor. It'll take you to the courtyard. I'll be with you in just a moment. I have to stop in at the office and make an entry on a patient's record. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I keep forgetting it. I'll be with you in a moment, Senator.
The danger you can't stop is the danger that, by its very nature, keeps you from seeing that it's there or knowing that you've met it. That's a hard one to stop. It camouflages itself so that you don't even know you encountered it.
Driving to town, miss?
Yes. Yes, I am, but I never pick up strangers when I'm driving alone. Why did I stop the car?
You will give me a lift.
Sure. Climb in. Over here next to me.
Thanks. I was sure you'd change your mind.
This is an awfully lonely part of the country to be hitching a ride in. Where are you coming from?
You see that building up on the hill with the brick fence around it?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Some sort of government hospital, isn't it?
Close. It's a sanctuary for mutants. That's where I was coming from.
From the mutant sanctuary? But are you
a mutant? Do I look like one?
I don't know. You look...
How do I look? I look perfectly normal, don't I?
Yes, you look perfectly normal in every way.
Tell me how I look to you.
You're tall, blonde, blue-eyed, broad-shouldered, nice smile.
You'd say I was good-looking?
Yes. Yes, I'd say you were quite handsome.
Thank you. What's your name?
Lisa Roberts. You?
My name is Clyde Merrick.
Oh, you must work at the sanctuary then.
Yes, that's right. I work there. This is my afternoon off, and I thought I'd hitch a ride into town for some fun.
Well, you're lucky I stopped for you. I'm going all the way into town. And you know, it's funny, too. I never usually stop for strangers. Tony says I shouldn't.
Oh, who is Tony?
My fiancé.
You're going to get married, then?
That's what having a fiancé usually means. Yeah, we're getting married in December. Going for a long cruise on our honeymoon.
What do you do, Lisa?
Do? Oh, I'm a dancer. Maybe you've seen me on TV. I'm usually on every Saturday night. Not that anyone ever remembers the girl from the chorus.
I don't look at TV much, I'm afraid. Is this Tony of yours a dancer, too?
Yes, he's the leading man of the show.
You love him very much, don't you? You could never think of marrying anyone else.
You do talk strangely sometimes. I guess it's because you're around those crazy mutants all the time. Of course I love him very much. Well, what do you think?
How do you feel about mutants, Lisa?
Just the way everyone else does, I suppose.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I feel sort of pity for them. But still, pity and all makes me feel creepy to think about people with two heads and all.
Well, none of them have two heads, Lisa. That particular mutation doesn't survive to adulthood. Most of the really strange ones die off the first few weeks of life.
No, even so, I've seen pictures of them. Oof. It's a good thing they keep themselves cooped up in their sanctuaries. Good for them and good for us.
But sometimes they leave the sanctuaries. They try to live like normal people.
But they aren't normal people.
Sometimes they can convince others that they are normal. We can be very convincing, Lisa.
We?
I'm a mutant, Lisa. I'm casting a mental projection that hides my true appearance.
Oh, no. Leave me alone. Get out of the car.
Oh, slow down. I won't hurt you. I'm very friendly. I'm a lonely person, Lisa, and you're so beautiful. You're not afraid of me, are you?
I'm not afraid of you.
Of course you aren't. You like me. You like me very much. I'm tall and broad-shouldered, and you think I'm handsome.
Very handsome.
More handsome than your fiancé, Tony.
Of course.
You're wondering what you ever saw in Tony, aren't you? You're starting to forget you ever had any liking for him at all.
I can't imagine how I could ever let myself think I cared for him.
You're forgetting him rapidly. You don't even know who Tony is now, but you know who I am, don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And you love me. You've only known me for a few minutes, but despite that, you've fallen deeply in love with me. Haven't you, Lisa?
Yes. I love you, Clyde.
And I love you, Lisa. Will you marry me, Lisa?
Of course, Clyde. Yes, I'll marry you, darling.
Of course, it isn't really Clyde Merrick's fault. He's not responsible for what he is. He was made that way by the genetic mutations caused by too much atomic warfare. It isn't his fault. But that doesn't make him tolerable, does it? He is an intolerable menace.
Oh, that was a wonderful meal, darling. You know, I don't know how you did it. All those people waiting in line for tables and The head waiter just took you right over to the spot.
I have ways of being persuasive.
Oh, I see. You love me?
Of course, Lisa.
We'll be married tomorrow and go far, far away. Rent a cabin somewhere and stay there for months and months and just read and fish and sleep. Oh, it sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful. Just the two of us.
I can't wait.
You're not worried about Tony, are you?
Tony? I don't know anyone named Tony, do I?
No, you don't know anyone named Tony. Come on, let's get out of here.
If you say so, darling. Where will we go?
Your car. We'll drive out into the country. You can't see the stars here in town.
You haven't paid the check.
It doesn't matter. You see them trying to stop me?
Well, no, but
I can eat for free anytime. You see? They're smiling goodbye to us.
Drive anywhere?
Take the road you were on this morning when you met me.
Of course.
Lisa.
What is it, dear?
Do you really love me? Really and truly love?
I love you, Clyde.
No. No, you don't. Not at all.
Oh, whatever do you mean?
It's no good. It isn't real. It's just another fraud.
I don't understand.
You don't love me. Not really. I've made you think you do, and you say you do, but that isn't enough. Every time I'd kiss you, every time I'd hold you in my arms, I'd know you were nothing but a puppet playing the role I made you play. Do you call that love?
Clyde, you're talking nonsense.
I wish I were. I thought I might be able to find some fulfillment outside the sanctuary, but I was wrong. What good is it all? I can fool everyone. Everyone except myself. Lisa, tell me again. How do I look to you?
Well, tall, very good-looking, blonde hair, kind of wavy, regular features.
In other words, as handsome as a video star. All right, stop the car.
Stop it? Why?
Because I want you to.
Well?
Ever since I left the sanctuary this morning, I've been projecting a false appearance. It's a power of mine. Something special I have, thanks to the otherwise unkind providence. I'm going to turn that projection off now, Lisa. Let you have a look at me as I really am. As I look without the benefit of hypnotic trickery.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Hideous. That face, those eyes, the skin.
Everything's all right now. You're starting to forget. In a moment, you'll have forgotten it. There. All better. How do you feel?
All right, Clyde.
Good. But you see, Lisa, I was wrong. I thought if I left the sanctuary at last, disguising myself as one of the normals, I could be happier. I could... But it would be a synthetic happiness. You can't live on nothing but cotton candy, Lisa. Start the car.
Yes, Clyde.
Drive up the hill to your left. And that's it, right up to those big gates. All right. Stop here. This is the sanctuary. I'm back home now. Home to stay where I belong.
Clyde, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what's happening.
You're going to turn your car around and drive home, Lisa. You're going to go home and go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have no recollection of today at all. You'll simply have lost a day. And you'll marry your Tony, and you'll be happy with him. Is that clear, Lisa?
Yes, Clyde.
All right now. You're beginning to forget me already. Say goodbye to me, Lisa.
Goodbye, Clyde.
That's right. No, don't kiss me. Back home again. Goodbye, Lisa.
The saving grace in Clyde Merrick was that while he could fool all those around him, he didn't fool himself.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman. And today, fellows and girls, we will learn the identity of the young boy Superman found in the rowboat. There's a big surprise in store. But before we continue our story, here's Eddie and his sister with a question for Dan McCullough.
Hey, Dan, I brought my sister along today. I hope you don't mind.
Well, I'm glad you did. Hello there, Betty.
Hi, Dan.
You see, she collects Pep model planes, too. As a matter of fact, she's pretty interested in aviation.
Good for you, Betty. How many Pep models have you got so far?
Well, I've got 5, Dan. See, I brought him along with me to show you.
Swell.
Well, here's a Russian Yak 4, and this is a Sunderland flying boat.
Right.
And this is a Vought Excalibur. That's a Navy transport. And then I've got 2 models of a Douglas Skymaster.
2 models? Well, let's see. Why don't you trade one of them with your brother?
Well, I'm waiting till he gets what I want. See, I'd like to have a Curtiss Helldiver next, but Eddie's only got one. When he gets another, we're going to swap.
Hey, it sounds like a good idea to me. Well, thanks for coming over here today, Betty and Eddie. And, gang, how are you coming with your collections of those nifty Pep model planes? Remember, every time you open up a new package of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep, you'll find another colored cardboard plane model right inside. Now, there are 14 different models you can get altogether. 4 British, 2 Russian, and 8 American. And among them are the exciting planes Betty mentioned earlier, as well as the British Lancaster bomber, the Russian 118 fighter, and the American B-24 Liberator bomber. Best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny for them, not even a buck stop. There's a plane inside every single Pep package. So, gang, be sure your mother gets you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. See which model plane you find inside. And remember the name, Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now the adventures of Superman.
When an unsigned note addressed to Superman was left at the Daily Planet requesting the Man of Steel to come to the North Bay at once, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, sensing a possible story, rented a boat and rowed out on the bay. To their amazement, they found a drifting rowboat without oars, and in the bottom of it, an unconscious boy. As the 2 reporters started back to shore with the boy, they were run down by a large speedboat and left struggling in the icy water. Clinging to the boy as the tide swept them out to sea, Jimmy had lost consciousness, and Lois was beginning to go under when Superman appeared just in time to save them all from drowning. Then, Superman made a startling discovery.
The boy is wearing a cape, a red leather vest with the letter R on it. He must be... Great Scott. Up with him. Up and away! I'll take Jim and Lois home. Then I want a word with this boy. He's who I think he is. No, wait a minute. He's wounded. There's the doctor's house down there. Down to it. Down. There. Better get back into Kent's clothes. Save a lot of explanations. We'll put these three down for a moment. There. Now to become a Daily Planet reporter again. Horn-rimmed glasses, voice and all. There, that does it.
Hope the doctor's in. Cut on the boy's head doesn't look too good.
Yes, who? Good heavens, what's this?
These three people were just fished out of the bay, Doctor. They're suffering from submersion. May I bring them in?
Yes, of course. Let me give you a hand.
No, I can manage, all right.
You can't carry the three of them. Here, I'll take this.
No, take Miss Lane.
Okay. Come on in.
Thank you.
I'll have my wife look after the young lady. Martha! Martha!
Yes, John?
Come here, please. Hurry. I'll be back in a moment. Start getting the wet clothes off the boys, Mr.
Kent. Clark Kent. Okay, Doctor. Good. This will give me a chance to get this boy's costume off before the doctor sees it. I'll just put him and Jim on this couch. Oh. There we are.
Miss Lane.
Uh-oh.
The tide.
Oh, Jim's coming, too.
Stay up. What's wrong?
Off with this boy's costume before Jim sees it.
I can't stay up. I'm drowned.
No, it's okay, Jim. You're safe now. There we are, just in time. Stuff the costume in my pocket and then wrap him in this couch cover. So.
Mr. Kent.
Yes, that's right, Jim. Just lie still now. You're all right. I'll get these wet clothes off you.
But how?
Well,
what?
Superman rescued you.
He did?
Uh-huh.
But how did you get here?
And
where are we?
In the doctor's house. I rushed out to North Bay. Give me your arm, will you? That's it. And I found that note for Superman in Lois's office. I thought you two would get into trouble, and it looks like I was right.
You're not kidding.
Wait a minute. Roll over just a bit.
All right.
Boy.
When that speedboat ran us down.
What speedboat? Here. Put my overcoat around you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, a speedboat ran us down on purpose, Mr. Kent. When we were rowing back with the kid. Oh, gosh, I forgot. Is he all right?
Oh, I think he will be. Say, a speedboat ran you down purposely?
Yeah, it was purposely, all right. They kept their spotlight on us all the time.
When was this?
Right after we found the kid lying in the rowboat.
Oh, here, wait. You're starting to shiver. I better call the doctor. Doctor!
I'm right here, Mr. Kent.
Oh, good.
Yeah, take that coat off and wrap this blanket around you, young man.
Thanks, Doctor. That water was awful cold.
Can you walk?
Sure, I think so.
Good. Now, you just go through that door there, and you'll find my wife and Miss Lane. They'll give you some hot tea.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
Careful, don't trip on that blanket, Jim. How is Miss Lane, Doctor?
She's fine. Well, now, let's have a look at this other young chap here. I don't think he swallowed much water.
No, I don't think so either. I worked his arms a bit.
Heart action seems all right.
Oh, good.
There's an odd wound on his head.
Uh-huh, I noticed that.
A thin cut and indications of a burn. As if a hot knife had cut him.
A hot knife?
Yes. Wound is slight, though. I don't see anything else the matter with him. He should have regained consciousness by now.
Isn't there anything we can do?
Well, we might pass these spirits of ammonia under his nose.
Oh,
there's my phone. Here, Mr. Kent, give him a whiff or two of these spirits.
Okay, Doctor.
They ought to bring him around. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Fine. Now, let's see.
Never mind, Mr. Kent. I'm awake.
What?
I've been conscious for some time, but I kept my eyes closed and listened. I wanted to make sure you weren't enemies.
Enemies? Look, your name is...
Dick Grayson.
Dick, eh? Well, I think your name is...
It's Dick Grayson, I said. Listen, Mr. Kent, I heard you say Superman had rescued us.
Yes, that's right.
Do you think he'll come back to see me?
Well, why should he? You're all right now.
I know, but I sent him a note.
Oh, so it was you who sent that note.
Yes. I just got to see Superman. I've got to.
Well, why, Dick?
Because only he can help me.
Help you how?
I can't tell you, Mr. Kent.
Why not? I'm a reporter on the Daily Planet. That's where you sent the note.
I know, but I can't tell you anything. I can only tell Superman.
Oh, boy. Get a load of Miss Lane all dressed up in a new spring blanket.
Pretty natty, huh, Clark? Jim told me about your being here. How did you know that... Why, the boy's awake.
Miss Lane, this is, Dick Grayson.
How do you do, Dick? Pleased to meet you, Miss Lane.
And this is Jim Olsen.
Hiya, Dick. Hey, listen, what were you doing out there in that boat?
Dick and I have something very important to discuss, Jim, so if you and Lois will excuse us...
Well, I like that.
I find a story and almost get drowned for my pains, and you think you can just step in and cut me out of all the nerve.
No, it's not that at all,
I think
Lois.
it is,
Well,
and I'm not standing for it.
Oh.
Now, look, Dick. You sent that note to the Daily Planet for Superman, didn't you? Well, yes,
We're wasting valuable time, Lois. Dick
Let
says
me hear what he says. This is my story. What did you want to see Superman about, Dick?
Yeah, Dick, and how'd you get way out on the bay without oars? And what made you unconscious? I can't tell you. I can only tell Superman. Please, help me find him.
We can't do that, Dick, but maybe we can help you out of whatever trouble you're in.
Sure. You can't. Only Superman can. It's terribly important. You don't know how important it is. Please, help me find Superman.
Oh, gosh, we can't do that, Dick. Of course not.
Maybe I can help you find Superman, Dick.
You can? Oh, Mr. Kent, if you only could.
Oh, don't listen to him, Dick. He's just talking.
You might be surprised, Lois.
You can't fool me, Clark. You just want to get him away to scoop me on my own story.
Oh, Mr. Kent wouldn't do that, Miss Lane.
Of course I wouldn't. Jim, where did you put my overcoat when you took it
Oh,
out?
on that chair. I'll get it.
What do you want your overcoat for?
For Dick, so he doesn't catch cold when we go out.
Well, Jim and I can't leave yet. Our clothes are being dried.
I know.
Oh, here's your coat, Mr. Kent.
Thanks. Here, Dick, put this on.
Now, wait a minute, Clark.
Are we going to find Superman now, Mr. Kent?
Well, we're going to try.
Gee, how, Mr. Kent?
How does he know? He just wants to get away with the boy. You're not leaving here without me, Clark.
Oh, yes, we are, Lois. This is terribly important. Let's go, Dick.
Stop, I tell you. I'm going along.
Can you go too, Mr. Kent?
Both of you in blankets? Of course not. Tell the doctor thanks and to send his bill to the Daily Planet, Jim.
Clark, wait a minute. You can't do this to me.
First time I've ever seen you so helpless, Lois.
Oh.
Don't you worry. If there's a story, and I think there will be, I'll give it all to you. So long.
Clark! Clark! Oh, I'll get even for you.
Protesting furiously, Lois rushes to the window and watches Clark Kent and Dick Grayson leave. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. But first, let's hear from your friend and mine.
Say, gang, when your mother surprises you with an extra delicious treat, you certainly don't have to be persuaded to eat it, do you? Why, of course not. And that goes 100% for that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir, you can't beat a big bowl full of those crisp golden whole wheat flakes when it comes to downright grand eating. There's so much wonderful hearty flavor and distinctive goodness in every spoonful that the very first taste proves Pep is a really super cereal. But that's not all. No, sir, there's an exciting prize right inside every single Pep package. It's a model plane made of colored cardboard that's just as easy as pie to put together. Now, there are 14 different models you can get altogether. 4 British, 2 Russian, and 8 American ones. And best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny for them, not even a buck stop. There's a plane in every Pep package. So, gang, be sure your mother gets you a package of super delicious Pep tomorrow. And remember the name, Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Taking young Dick Grayson to his apartment, Clark Kent tells the worried boy to be seated, then leaves the apartment for a moment, only to return as...
Superman!
That's right. Clark Kent said you wanted to see me, Dick, or shall I call you by your real name? Robin.
How did you know?
I saw the cape and red vest under your coat tonight when I pulled you out of North Bay, and I saw your mask and your green gloves. Incidentally, I have them with me. You are Robin, aren't you? Batman's companion?
Yes, Wait. Someone else might have seen my costume when I was unconscious. How do I know you're Superman?
Oh, you think I might be an imposter, eh? Well, let's get that settled first, then we can get down to cases. Now, let's see. If I take a couple of turns around the ceiling, that ought to convince you, oughtn't it?
Wait.
Okay, here I go. Up! What do you say, Dick? I mean, Robin?
You are flying.
Right. Now, down. Well, you satisfied?
You bet. Oh, Superman, will you help me? You've got to. I don't know what to do.
Now, take it easy, son. Of course I'll help you if I can.
You can. Only you can.
This sounds serious.
It is. It's the most serious thing that ever happened.
That's a strong statement, Robin.
It's true. You see...
Yes?
Batman has disappeared.
What?
Yes, Superman. Batman has disappeared.
Incredulously, Superman stares down at the white-faced boy. Batman, the most powerful and spectacular human in all the world, save for Superman himself, has disappeared. What can this mean? Fellows and girls, it means one of the most thrilling adventures the Man of Steel has ever encountered. A deep and menacing mystery which will try all of his amazing powers to their utmost. So don't miss a single episode of this new story entitled The Mystery of the Wax Men. Tune in tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the makers of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. This is Mutual.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, the Man of Steel. Today, Robin, youthful assistant of the famous Batman, tells him why he so desperately needs his help. But before we join them for the exciting story, let's hear from Dan McCullough. Okay, Dan?
Say, gang, the other day an Army pilot I know was over at my house looking at some pet model planes I had. And you know, he made a very interesting remark. He said that these pet planes were some of the best models he'd ever seen for identification work. And he thought that all of you ought to be able to learn a lot from them. And I'll bet you have, too, if you've been making that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep, your own special breakfast. Because right inside every single Pep package, there's a colored cardboard plane model all ready for you to put together. And you don't have to send in a single penny for it, not even a box top. What's more, there are 14 different models you can get all together. 4 British, 2 Russian, and 8 American. And on the back of each model, there's a list of valuable pointers on how to spot that particular plane, as well as a general description of it. So, gang, if you haven't yet started your collection of these nifty plane models, get busy right away. Be sure your mother gets you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. See which model plane you find inside. And remember the name, Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now the adventures of Superman. Sensing a story in a mysterious note addressed to Superman, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen rented a boat and rowed out on North Bay, where they found an unconscious boy in a rowboat. On their way back to shore with the boy, they were run down by a large speedboat and were near drowning when Superman appeared and rescued them. At a doctor's house, the boy revived and identified himself as Dick Grayson. He said he had sent the note to Superman and was in great trouble, but refused to discuss the matter with anyone but the Man of Steel. Clark Kent took Dick to his apartment, where he left for a moment and then reappeared as Superman. He told Dick he had seen the cape beneath his coat and the red leather vest with the letter R on it, and recognized him as Robin, companion of the famous Batman. The boy admitted his identity and pleaded for help.
You've got to help me, Superman. You've got to.
Of course I'll help you if I can.
You're the only one who can.
Well, this sounds serious.
It is. It's the most serious thing that ever happened.
That's a pretty strong statement, Robin.
It's true. You see...
Yes?
Batman has disappeared.
What?
Yes. Batman has disappeared.
Great Scott, where? When?
I don't know where. He left me in our cottage at Queen's Point. That's across the bay.
Yes?
He told me to wait for him there. He said he'd be back before evening. But he didn't come back.
Didn't he? When was this? I mean, when did he leave?
It was yesterday. Batman left right after lunch. He said he'd be back in a few hours.
Did he say where he was going?
No. All he said was that he was working on the biggest case of his life, and he was all set to finish it up that afternoon.
Did he give you any hint as to what it was?
I begged him to, but he wouldn't. He said it was too dangerous for even me to be mixed up in. He said that the fate of the whole world depended on it.
Fate of the whole world?
Yes. You've got to find him, Superman. Because what I'm afraid of is that those men got him.
What men?
The men who came to our cottage last night to get me.
Now, wait a minute. You better tell me about that.
I was going to. When Batman hadn't returned by dinner time like he said he would, I began to get a little nervous. And when he wasn't home by 10 o'clock and then by 11, I was really worried. I decided to wait another hour and then call the police and start looking for him. But then Alfred, he's our butler, came into the living room where I was watching the clock.
I say, Master Dick, we seem to be getting company.
You mean Batman's back, Alfred?
Unfortunately, no. But I was just out in the garden, and I observed half a dozen men sneaking up from the beach. They seem to be surrounding the house.
What?
Quite. And the Bounders have guns. We seem to be in a bit of a predicament. What?
I switched off the light, went to the window, and looked out. Alfred was right. There were men surrounding the house. They'd spread out, crouched down low, and they were sneaking up behind bushes and trees. I could see the guns in their hands, and I didn't like it. I rang to the phone to call the police. Hello, operator. Hello. Hello, operator. Hello. Hello. Oh, the phone's dead, Alfred.
Dead? My word, how could a telephone die?
I mean, it's not working. It was all right earlier this evening. Those men must have cut the wires.
The doorbell.
Oh, what do we do now? There are too many for me to take on alone.
I'll help. I know a trick or two.
No, too many guns, Alfred.
Open up in there.
We've got to get out of here and fast. Come on, Alfred.
My word, but where? The gun chap says the house surrounded.
I'll show you. Come on. I took Alfred down to the basement to a trapdoor that opens when you press a hidden button behind the furnace. I got it open and pushed Alfred in, following him just as we heard the men force their way into the house. I closed the trapdoor behind me and let Alfred through the tunnel to the boathouse. There was another trapdoor there that you could push up from underneath, and I started to open it when I heard voices.
Boys can get him, and then we can blow. Yeah, we get man places up there. He just don't have a minute. Shut up, no names. Hey, what's that creaking noise?
There were two men in the boathouse, Alfred.
I see. What do we do now, Master Dick?
Wait for them to give up looking for us and then go to the police.
There ain't nobody here. Must have been a wind or something.
Alfred and I stayed in the tunnel all the rest of the night, Superman, and all the next day.
The men didn't leave, eh?
No.
Just a minute. When you opened the trap door in the boathouse, one of the men there said they were being paid by... What was the name?
It was an odd name. It sounded like Zoltan.
Zoltan, eh? Okay, go on, Robin.
Well, like I said, we stayed in the tunnel all that night and all the next day. We could hear them looking for us, tramping across the floor. Finally, they stopped looking, but they didn't go away. I kept hoping Batman would show up, but he didn't. And then I knew something had happened to him, and I had to try to find him. So when evening came again, that was this evening, I inched the trapdoor open in the boathouse.
I see. Are they still there, Master Dick?
Just one of them. He's sitting with his back to us, looking out at the water.
I trust he's enjoying the view, what?
Look, Alfred, I've got an idea, but you've got to help me, will you?
Of course, Master Dick. You know that.
Good. I've written a note. I want you to deliver it for me.
Deliver a note? My word, I'll be happy to, but how do I get out of here?
I'll take care of this fellow in the boathouse, and you...
But the chap has a gun.
Oh, I can handle him. Now, listen. When I tackle him, you run out the back door of the boathouse. It's dark, and chances are you can slip through the grounds without being seen. Then step on it to the Daily Planet newspaper as fast as you can.
Right-o, Master Dick. But I really think I should help you with that character in the boathouse.
I'll take care of him. Get ready now. I'm going to open the trapdoor.
I'm ready, sir. Ready and eager.
So far, so good. I'll sneak up on him so he won't hear me. Now, when I call to you, Alfred, run, and good luck.
And the same to you, sir.
Here I go. Okay, Alfred, run!
I'm on my way. Follow the
Well, for a while there, we had quite a tussle. But Batman taught me judo, you know, and I was able to knock the gunman out. Then I got into our rowboat and started pulling away.
Well, why did you use the rowboat?
I wanted a safe place to meet you, and I thought out on the bay was the best place.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was about 200 yards offshore, I heard the man I'd knocked out come to and start yelling. A little later, I heard a speedboat start up. It had a powerful spotlight. And then...
Yes, I can guess the rest of it. They caught up with you and shot you. That explains your head wound. I imagine they thought they finished you.
I guess so. I passed out and didn't wake up until I was in the doctor's house with Mr. Kent and Jimmy Olsen and Miss Lane.
Well, you don't know it, but that speedboat hung around a while, saw Jim and Miss Lane pick you up, and then ran them down. Nice fellows. Well, I've got work to do now, Robin.
You're going to look for Batman?
In a way, yes. Now, you listen to me. Clark Kent may be back here before I return. If he does show up, trust him and go with him. Do you understand?
Well, yes, but what can Mr. Kent do?
Almost as much as I can. So long, Robin. Or maybe I'd better get used to calling you Dick.
Where are you going?
Out this window.
Well, I know, but what about Batman?
You let me worry about Batman from here on in. See you soon. Up! Up! And away!
Leaping into the darkness, Superman swiftly disappears. Where is he going? We'll return in a moment for the climax of today's episode. But first, here's a question for you.
Gang, how well have you been studying the aviation facts that are printed on the backs of all the PEP model planes? Can you tell the armament of each plane, its speed and range, as well as how to spot it? Remember, on the back of each plane model, you get a description of it and a list of specifications, as well as pointers on how to spot it. And don't forget either that there are 14 different models you can get in the Kellogg's PEP packages. 4 British, 2 Russian, and 8 American. Now, they're made of colored cardboard, and they're really easy to put together. All you have to do is to press out the parts with your thumbs and assemble them. And best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny to get any of these grand models. Not even a buck stop. There's a plane right inside every single package of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. So, gang, be sure your mother gets you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. See which model plane you find inside. And remember the name, Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Leaving Dick Grayson, alias Robin, in his apartment, Superman disappeared, only to return an hour later in his guise of Clark Kent with Dick's dry clothes. Then, taking a taxi, Kent and Dick rode across town to a dark street facing a deserted park, where we join them now.
What are we doing here, Mr. Kent?
Oh, I'm not quite sure myself, Dick.
Well, then why?
Take it easy. See that one-story building we're coming to with the 2 wide, barred windows across the front?
Uh-huh. Looks like a fancy store. Only there's no way to get in.
The doors are on the side.
What sort of a place is it?
Well, there are gilt letters on the brick just above the windows. You see them?
Oh, yeah. Zoltan's Wax Museum. Zoltan!
Keep your voice down.
That's the name the man in the boathouse used.
Uh-huh.
Or I think it was.
Yes, you see, that's just the trouble. You're not sure. But it's the only lead we've got so far. And this Zoltan, who owns the Wax Museum, is the only one with that name in the phone book and the city directory.
But what could a man in a wax museum have to do with Batman disappearing?
We don't know if he did have anything to do with it. But as I say, it's our only lead so far, so come on.
Where?
I want to have a look through those windows.
But it's too dark to see anything.
No, I can see pretty well in the dark. The street lamp behind us throws a little light. All right, hold up now. Just a lot of life-size wax figures standing around the floor.
Yeah, I can see them. They're all dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look kind of weird in the dark, don't they?
Yeah. That's funny.
What, Mr. Kent?
Those wax figures, there's something familiar about the faces, but I can't quite place them.
I can't either. Oh, gosh, look.
What, Dick?
Over to the left, against the wall.
What?
It's Batman.
Batman?
Yeah, look. It's Batman.
Yes, I see. Only he's a wax statue.
Startled, Clark Kent's eyes followed Dick Grayson's trembling finger to the silent, life-sized figure of the missing Batman. What can this mean? Fellows and girls, there's a startling surprise in store for you and for Superman on Monday. So don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station, for another exciting episode in The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive.
able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellas and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the makers of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. This is Mutual.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett. Hey, Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet.
At Space Academy, all cadets undergo rigorous training to win their commissions in the Solar Guard, rocket ship operations, study machines to prepare for future service. And one of the most important subjects for the cadets to master is the principle of command, assembled in one of the lecture halls. And as Captain Strong enters, they snap to attention.
Hey, sir! Stand easy, boy. Lecture on independent foreign government, the Student Council here at Space Academy.
Student Council, that's kid stuff. Hey, Stuart, Roger.
First-hand experience in democratic thing. Now, the main class representative will be held next week.
Excuse me, sir, but can anyone run for office?
Oh, yes, Astro, all cadets are eligible, although it isn't advisable to have more than one candidate per unit. No, excuse me. Captain Strong here.
Message from Commander Arkwright, sir. He'd like you to report to him immediately at Interplanetary Communications Center.
Oh, very well. Tell him I'll be right over. All right, boys, that'll be all for now. I suggest you talk over the possibilities of a candidate from this unit. But whatever you do, choose your candidate carefully. Unit dismissed.
Tom, you're the logical choice for that office in this unit. What do you say? Will you run?
Well, I hadn't thought about it.
What do you mean, will he run? Stow it, Roger. How about it, Tom?
Well, all right. But I'll need both of you to help me campaign. After all, the other units will be putting up some tough competition.
Sure we'll help. Won't we, Raj?
Count me out, Junior. I'll be campaigning for someone else.
What?
Oh, candidate Roger Manning.
Captain Strong reporting his orders, Commander Arkwright.
Oh, glad you got here so quickly, Strong.
Anything wrong, sir?
No, not yet. It all depends on a certain message I'm expecting from Titan.
You mean there's trouble at the colony?
I'm not sure.
Well, you sound pretty mysterious, sir. What's this all about?
Here, read this.
Oh? What is it?
A report from the Academy Medical Laboratory about a new serum they're working on.
Serum? For what?
Well, a week ago, I received a report from Titan Colony that a strange disease had broken out, and that the medical team there was unable to control it. We sent another team from the Academy laboratories to help them and look for a possible cure.
I see. But this report says that they haven't had any luck.
Exactly. That's why I sent for you, Strong. This disease may reach epidemic proportions. If it does, we might have to evacuate all the children.
Where do I come in, sir?
I want you to map out an evacuation procedure and arrange all the details. Then, if and when the time comes, I want you to lead the evacuation fleet.
I see. This will be quite an operation.
Yes, it'll take just about every ship and every man we have.
Commander Arkwright.
Yes, Lieutenant Wells?
Message you were expecting from Titan, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Commander?
Just what I was afraid of. Strong?
Yes, sir?
Start planning the evacuation immediately and order all crews to stand by. It's an epidemic.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, how would you like to be like Tom Corbett someday? Say, wouldn't it be fun to go to Space Academy and learn how to pilot a rocket ship? Why, before you knew it, you'd be making trips to the other planets and blasting right through the whole solar system. But you know, even in 2352, you'd find some things are just the same. Isn't that right, Tom Corbett?
That's right, Spaceman. And one of those things is the way everybody goes for Kellogg's Pep. Man from Mars to Earth and back again. When breakfast time comes, spacemen all over the universe reach for Pep and start eating. Some spacemen eat Pep to get a good supply of food energy. It gives them a head start on a tough day's work. Other folks eat Pep to make sure that they get some vitamin B1 and a whole day's supply of vitamin D. And everybody in Space Academy likes Kellogg's Pep because it tastes so downright good. I take second helpings of Pep just about every morning. Say, how's about you starting your day the way I do? Pick up that package tomorrow morning and pour yourself a spaceman's helping of Kellogg's Pep.
Ah, that's a swell idea, Tom Corbett. You, me, and everybody. Let's start the day the spaceman's way with Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Unaware of the epidemic on Titan, the Space Cadets actively campaign for the coming election of representatives to the Student Council. Both Roger Manning and Tom Corbett are running for class representative and are hard at work campaigning for that office.
More weekend passes and less astrogation classes. Take it from me, fellas, I'll get you more free time. I'll get more games for the club room. And last but not least, I'll get you less work on the study machine. So remember my slogan, more fun, less study. Vote for Manning, buddy.
The Student Council was created to teach us the principles of democratic government. And it's the closest link between the cadet body and the faculty offices. Any representative on the council must know all the problems of the cadets and be able to fight for them.
Well, Tom, today's election day. I hope you don't feel too bad when the results come in.
I hope you don't either, pal. But anyhow, spaceman's luck.
The same to you. You need it.
Captain Strong here.
Strong, this is Commander Arkwright. I've just received a message from Titan. The children will have to be evacuated. Are your plans made?
Yes, sir. I can put the whole operation into effect on 2 hours' notice.
That's too long. It has to be immediately.
Well, very well, sir, but the cadets are in the assembly hall voting. Today is their election day, you know.
The election will have to wait. Order all ships prepared for immediate blast-off.
All right, boys. You can stow your gear when we get underway. We raise ship in 3 minutes. Take your station.
But, Captain Strong, can't you tell us where we're going or what this is all about?
This is all I can tell you for now. There is a dangerous epidemic on Titan, and we're going there to evacuate the children.
Titan? Oh, swell. I haven't seen Sally Faraday in months.
And you're not going to see her now, Manning. No one is allowed to leave the ship. We'll land, load the children, and blast off again immediately.
Hey, wait a minute. What about the election?
You'll get the election results when we return. Now, for the last time, take your station.
Control deck here.
Hey, Tom, do you think we'll be able to get any food on Titan? I'm sick of these concentrations.
It'll do you good. Take some weight off, you big Venusian elephant.
Who asked you, Manning?
You know, fellas, I was just thinking. They've probably counted the ballots by now, and they know who the class representative is.
We won't know who won until we get back, Roger, so why worry?
That's a good attitude, Junior. Why worry about something you can't have?
Attention, crew. Entering atmosphere of Titan. Stand by for landing procedure. Astro, cut your rockets to 1/2.
Rockets 1/2, aye.
Prepare to turn ship, Tom. Set lateral vanes at 3.2 degrees.
3.2, aye, sir.
Astro, fire lateral rockets full burst. Now.
Lateral rockets full, sir.
Stand by braking rockets.
Standing by.
Braking rockets full. Now.
We're down, sir.
Cut rockets and secure ship, Astro.
Aye, sir.
Well, what now, Skipper?
Well, the commander put me in charge of this operation, so I'll have to debark to direct the proceedings. But I want you boys to stay here.
Radar bridge secure, sir.
All right, Manning. Now, get this, both of you. This Titan disease is a serious thing. You are to remain aboard ship and prepare sleeping quarters for the arrival of our group of children. Any questions? Good. I'll see you later. Oh, and remember, above all, you are not to leave the ship.
Hey, Hotshot, hand me a couple of those blankets, will you? Manning! Hey, Roger! Main quarters to control deck.
What is it, Astro?
Is Roger up there, Tom?
No, I thought he was working with you.
He was a few minutes ago, but now he's disappeared.
Did you look in the supply hole?
No, but I'll check it now.
Hold it, Astro. Oh, that stupid space-happy fool.
What's the matter, Tom? Did you find him?
I found him all right, Astro. I just saw him run across the spaceport, headed for the colony.
Oh, no.
Yes, it looks like Roger was determined to see his girlfriend come with me.
Astro, we're almost finished taking the children aboard. Hasn't Roger come back yet?
Not yet, Tom, and the skipper was asking for him a little while ago. I stalled him.
Good. Listen, do you think you could cover for the both of us? I'm going out to find Roger.
Don't be a fool, Tom. He wouldn't do it for you, and, well, besides, you don't know where to look.
I'll ask around. Somebody must have seen him. I'll be back in no time.
Wait, Tom. What about the disease? You might catch it.
I'll have to take that chance, Astro. We can't let the skipper know Roger jumped ship.
Control deck, aye.
Astro, this is Captain Strong. Where's Corbett?
He was here a minute ago, sir.
Well, get hold of him and Manning and tell them to stand by for blastoff. All the children are aboard.
Aye, sir. By the craters of Luna, what do I do now? Hey, Junior, everything go all right without me? Everything went better without you. Tell Tom to take over here, quick.
Tell him yourself. I don't know where he is.
Huh? Isn't he with you?
No, I haven't seen him since I left the ship. Why?
Oh, great. He went out to look for you, and he's not back yet.
So what? He won't get lost.
No, but the skipper just ordered us to stand by for blastoff.
Don't worry. That's probably him now.
All right, Manning. Astro, take your station. Hey, where's Tom? I thought I told you to have him stand by, Astro.
Well, yes, sir. You did.
Well, why isn't he here?
That is,
Well, you see, sir,
I get it now. Corbett should never run in front of the viewport if he doesn't expect to be seen sneaking back to his ship.
But, sir, Tom didn't mean to disobey orders.
Take your station, Astro. I'll deal with Cadet Corbett as soon as we get into space. Control deck to radar bridge.
Radar bridge, aye.
We're clear of Titan, Manning. Chart a direct course to Earth.
Aye, sir.
Now then, Cadet Corbett, did you understand my instructions about remaining aboard ship?
I did, sir.
Then would you mind telling me why you disobeyed them?
Well, sir, I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I have no excuse, sir.
Oh, what's the matter with you? Well, you're as pale as a ghost.
I feel a little dizzy, sir.
Oh, well, you better go down and lie down. I'll take this matter up with you later.
Aye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Tom. Tom!
Great galaxy.
Astro, get up here right away. Tom just blacked out. Easy now, Astro. Put him in his bunk.
Right, sir.
There. Now, some blankets. He's shivering like a wet puppy. We've got to keep him warm.
What do you suppose is the matter with him, Captain Strong?
Well, I'm no medic, Astro, but from what I saw on Titan, he has all the symptoms of their disease.
But then what can we do for him, Skipper?
Oh, not much, I'm afraid. If the Academy Laboratory has been able to perfect their serum, that's our best bet. But we'll have to get Tom back to Earth in a hurry.
Blasted, I warned him not to leave the ship.
Oh, you knew about it all along. Well, then suppose you tell me why he disobeyed my orders.
Well, sir, he didn't really disobey. He only wanted to help. I mean, he just tried to...
Wait a minute. Strong here. Go ahead.
Sir, I have Commander Arkwright on the teleceiver for you.
All right, Manning. Feed it down here.
Stand by, sir. Go ahead.
Commander Arkwright, this is Captain Strong.
What's the matter, Strong? Any trouble with the evacuation?
No, sir. It's Cadet Corbett. I'm afraid he's contacted the Titan disease.
Oh, I was afraid of that. I hope you can isolate him from the children.
Yes, sir. I have him in the crew's quarters. But, Commander, what can we do for him?
The work on the serum is almost completed, Strong. The lab has had good results with their tests on animals. All that remains to be done now is a test on a human. Perhaps we can make that test on Corbett. I'll meet you at the spaceport. Get here as fast as you can.
Oh, what are the medics waiting for, Commander? I thought it was important to give Corbett the serum as quickly as possible.
He's still unconscious, Strong, and they can't do anything without his permission. After all, that serum is still untested on human beings.
But we just can't sit around here and wait.
Control yourself, Strong. You can be sure we're doing everything we can to help the boy.
Oh.
There.
Oh.
There, I think he's coming too.
Oh.
Let's try to talk to him now.
Tom, try to listen to what I'm going to say now, will you?
Yes, sir.
Tom, there is a serum we think might help you, but it's never been used on anyone before. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We don't know exactly what the reaction will be. Whether there is some danger involved, so try to think carefully before you answer.
I have to think, sir. Go ahead.
Son, it may not work.
I can't be any worse off than I am now, sir. Besides, if it doesn't work, well, then you can stop the epidemic. Go ahead.
Good boy. Now, don't worry about a thing. These medics are very capable. And the commander and I will be right here with you all the time.
Close your eyes and rest now, Tom.
Aye, sir.
All right, Doctor. You may begin.
Spaceman's luck, Tom. Spaceman's luck.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Spaceman, suppose you owned a jet boat just like the one on the Polaris. Say, you could sure have a lot of fun with it, couldn't you? Why, if you had to go to the store, you could blast right up to the door and nothing flat. But say, while you're down there, don't forget to get yourself some Kellogg's Pep. Pep gives a spaceman valuable vitamins and lots of food energy. Why, you get a whole day's supply of sunshine vitamin D in just one serving of Kellogg's Pep. And that's not all you get either. Kellogg's Pep gives you vitamin B1 and other food values you need to be active and to keep in trim. Now, that's why the cadets at Space Academy eat plenty of Pep. Pep helps to get you ready for a busy day. And say, Kellogg's Pep has such a swell, malty-rich flavor, all the cadets reach for second helpings every morning. As Tom Corbett always says, start your day the spaceman's way with a heaping bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. Right, Tom? So ask your mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
While the Polaris crew is returning from Titan with a shipload of evacuee children, Tom Corbett is stricken with the strange Titan disease. Under full emergency power, the Polaris proceeds to Earth, and Tom is taken to the Academy Hospital. There, he volunteers to be inoculated with a new serum that has never been tested on a human being. Now, several hours have passed since the inoculation, and Astro and Roger Manning wait impatiently in their dormitory for word of their friend's progress.
Will you sit down, Astro? You make me nervous. You could wear this floor out and it wouldn't help Tom any.
Blasted, I wish I hadn't let him go after you.
I didn't need him. I can find my own way around.
The craters of Luna, you're the most ungrateful guy I ever knew. First you run against Tom in the election and practically ruin his chances. And then when he goes out of his way to help you, you don't even have the decency to tell the skipper.
Tell the skipper what?
The only reason Tom disobeyed orders and left the ship was to find you.
Why didn't he mind his own business? And you too.
Cadet Astro here. Go ahead.
This is Captain Strong. There is still no change in Tom's condition, boys. His fever is very high and he's still in a coma. I'll keep you posted. End transmission.
So everything's going to be all right, huh, wise guy? Roger, you'd better start worrying.
get, Commander Arkwright?
No, Strong, no change. I'm really worried.
Well, what do the medics say? Did they expect this reaction?
I'm afraid not. Dr. Lee said Corbett could reach a crisis soon.
A crisis? Does that mean...
It could. But let's not think about that. Let's just hope. Yes, Arkwright here.
Commander, Cadet Corbett is at the critical period. Dr. Lee would like you to come over here to sick bay right away.
All right, thank you. Come on, Strong. We'll soon know.
Hey, get that, will you, Astro?
I didn't expect you to. Cadet Astro here. Go ahead.
This is Captain Strong.
Oh, is there any news, sir?
Take it easy, Astro. Tom is going to be fine. He's just past the crisis, and his fever is starting to go down already.
Oh, boy, that's great. You hear that, Raj? Tom's all right. Oh, gosh, that's wonderful news, sir.
Yes, it is. Not only for Tom, but for the colonists on Titan as well. Now that this serum has proved its worth, we can begin mass inoculations. We'll have this epidemic licked in a few days.
Let me have that, Astro.
Huh?
Sir, when can we see Tom? I have something to tell him.
Well, I suppose it would be all right if you came over now.
Oh, good. We'll be right there. Oh, sir?
Yes, Roger?
There's something I have to tell you, too. See you later.
Hiya, Tom. How's it going?
Oh, hi, Astro. Pretty good now, but it was rougher than a space storm a little while ago. Hi, Roger.
Congratulations, Tom.
Well, thanks, but I didn't do anything. It was all the serum.
Nah, that's not what I meant.
Oh?
Congratulations for winning the election.
What? Hey, Astro, is he kidding me?
No, he's not. You did it, Tom. You're the new class representative.
Well, congratulations, Tom. I'm really proud of this unit.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, Manning, you said you had something to tell me, too.
Well, that's right, Skipper.
Would you rather wait until later?
No, sir. I just wanted to tell you that it was all my fault.
Your fault? What do you mean?
Well, I left the ship to visit an old friend of mine, and when I didn't get back in time, Tom came after me. Only I got back before he did.
Oh, so that's the story. Well, I'm glad you were man enough to own up. Now, let me see. Oh, yes, there are some decks on the Polaris that need scrubbing, and some rocket heads that have to be cleaned, and all the hatches squeak. And,
the power deck needs a paint job.
Thank you. Yes, the power deck needs a painting, and the viewport is kind of dirty. Now, would you look after those things for me, Roger?
Yes, sir.
Good. And in the future, remember, I don't give orders just to hear myself talk.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
And Roger.
Yeah?
I'm sorry about the election.
Oh, that's all right. Just wait till next year. If I'm finished work by then.
Don't miss the next action-packed episode with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, when the Polaris crew rockets into space in search of a lost ship and her disease-stricken passengers in Part 2 of Mission of Mercy. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Al Markham, Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Carter Blake. Today's program was written by Hal Rine and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious Golden Crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other Raisin Bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
this program came to you from New
Are you burned up at the high price of turkey? Can't get eggs for your pumpkin pie? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape.
You're trapped in a remote valley of the Andes, walled in by sheer rock precipices, and surrounding you, closing in on you, is a band of blind men who want your eyes.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson and carefully plotted to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the high mountains of Ecuador and to a remarkable world where sight is unknown, as H.G. Wells imagined it in his curious story, The Country of the Blind.
My name is Ibarra. I am a mining engineer in Quito, Ecuador, high in the towering Andes. And up until a year ago, my chief sport was mountain climbing. My last climb was an attempt to scale the remote and forbidding peak of Parascotopetl, a 20,000-foot crag unconquered by man. It is unconquered still. 3,000 feet from the icy summit, our party turned back and fled for their lives. All of us escaped except one, a guide named Nunez, who slipped and fell over the precipice, disappearing into the vast chasm that yawned 10,000 feet beneath us. The horror of that man's fall has haunted my dreams for a year. Because of it, I have forsaken mountain climbing for the rest of my life. And that decision still stands, even though today I have seen Nunez. He was sitting on the steps of my shack when I arrived at the mine this morning. At first I didn't recognize him. He was so much changed. I thought he was a ragged beggar asking alms.
Is it you, Senor Ibarra?
My name is Ibarra, yes. What do you want?
You do not know me, Senor.
I know. You look like a man I knew once, but he is...
Dead? Dead on the slopes of Parascotopetl?
Nunez. No, it couldn't be you.
Nunez. That is my name, Senor. At least that is the name I remember.
But you fell. I saw you fall.
Yes.
It's impossible that you could have lived.
Perhaps the gods of the mountain had some reason to spare me.
Nunez, if we'd had any idea that you were alive, but... You went down thousands of feet. We couldn't even attempt to find your body.
I know. I do not blame you. You could not have reached me. And if you had, I should not have welcomed you at first. But then later...
What do you mean, Nunez?
Senor, you will not believe what I have to tell.
I can hardly believe that I'm seeing you, talking to you. But what has happened to you?
You remember that night, the night I fell?
Yes.
We had been toiling all day, inching our way up a steep ice wall. And as darkness came, we found a narrow ledge, barely 3 feet wide.
It's not very wide, but we can get our shoulder wall up, cut off some of this wind.
Well, that'll be welcome.
Yes, but first we'll rest a moment.
Look at that icy devil up there glistening in the moonlight.
There's another 3,000 feet of sheer ice wall to the top.
Well, I can see why no one's ever made it. Think we should go on?
I don't know. Nunez, what do you think?
It is not my place to say, senor. I was hired to guide you to the top. I agreed.
What do you really think?
If I believed in the gods of the mountain, as the Indians do, I should be frightened now.
Why?
Because we have invaded the Forbidden Circle. This part of the Andes is unmapped and unknown, senor.
And therefore shrouded in superstition, eh?
It is an easy thing to believe strange things in this white loneliness.
Some of the legends are really fascinating. I've heard of one, something about a hidden valley called the Country of the Blind.
Yes. It is supposed to be somewhere down there below us. A fertile valley which was settled many centuries ago, and then cut off by the great landslide of Araka.
But why the Country of the Blind?
Well, even before it was isolated, the people developed a strange illness. All of them slowly went blind. After that, their children were born blind. And the legend is that the valley was the home of the mountain gods. It was too beautiful for human eyes.
It's odd. Well, it's all nonsense.
Yes, of course.
Would be pleasant to find it, though. You know the old proverb, in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
I doubt that we could ever find it. I even doubt if it exists.
Of course not. I was only joking.
Yes. Well, now if you're arrested, we'll make the shelter wall.
Right. I'll give you a hand in a minute. Believe me about it. For 2 pesos, I'd give up this crime. I never realized
Senor,
how...
it's unslipping!
Hang on! No net! No net!
In one horrible instant, my foot had slipped on the treacherous ledge and I'd gone over, falling far out into the icy black night, falling down, down. I fell perhaps 1,000 feet. Then I felt a heavy stinging impact of snow. I'd fallen on an almost perpendicular snow slope. And now I was sliding down, down, tumbling over and over. And then suddenly I realized that my own motion had almost stopped. And it was the snow that was moving. I was riding an avalanche. At almost the same moment, I went over the second precipice. It was higher than the first, much higher, perhaps 4,000 feet. I fell with the snow for what seemed minutes, every second expecting the terrible final impact. But the impact never came. Miracle of miracles, that sheer wall blended almost imperceptibly into another steep snow slope. And again I was sliding. Gradually, as the arc of the slope curved away, I felt myself slow down. And finally I rolled to a stop and lay still. When I awoke, it was morning, and I was covered with snow. I shook off the cold white blanket on my chest and rested a moment. And then I rolled over on my back and looked up. My heart almost stopped as I saw from where I'd fallen, where the mountain towered 10,000 feet above me. Then carefully I felt of myself. My clothes were torn. I was bruised and bleeding. I ached in every muscle, but I had not a single broken bone. I lay there and offered up a prayer to the gods of the mountain. Far below me lay a lush valley sparkling in the morning sunlight. I could see the stately trees and the green meadows fresh with dew. I started down the mountain, but it was still an arduous descent. The farther down I got, the more I realized the beauty of the scene. Why, this was a hidden paradise I'd fallen into, and I was the first man ever to see it. So I thought, but I was wrong. I realized that first when I saw the cultivation in the meadows, and then the walks, well-kept stone walks laid in a symmetrical pattern all over the valley. And then I saw them. There were men and women lying under the trees and resting in the fields. Nearby, a collection of windowless huts marked a village, and the plastering of the houses was done in a wild variety of colors. I thought to myself, the plasterer who did that must have been blind as a bat. Then I saw 2 of the men quite close to me. They were standing on a bridge over the little stream. They were dressed in odd, loose clothing, and there was a strange look about their faces. They failed to notice me as I approached until I shouted. Suddenly they looked up attentively in my direction. I waved wildly at them, but they took no notice. Why, the fools must be blind. Blind? Could it be that I have fallen into the country of the blind? In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man can be king. Hello there. You needn't be afraid. I won't hurt you. I come in peace.
It is a man, or a spirit come down from the rocks.
Oh, I'm a man, all right. Just like you, but I've had a miraculous escape, and now I find myself here in your valley.
Valley? Valley? Come hither. Let me feel of you.
Yes, certainly. Here, my arm. Is my face? You see, I am a man, like yourself. Here, feel my lips. They move with speech. Oh, careful there. Gently, those are my eyes.
Eyes? Eyes? That is strange. Feel this Correa. Yes, I feel.
Careful. Feel the eyelids flutter?
He is but imperfectly formed. Some strange bulge there. Unseemly.
No. You see, your eyes are shrunken in, but mine are whole. I can see.
See? Pedro, he is a strange wild one. Where does he come from? He must have come down out of the rock.
No, from over the mountains. Out of the country beyond there where men can see. From Bogota, where there are 100,000 people and a city stretches out of sight.
Sight? What strange words he uses, without meaning. And feel the coarseness of his hair, like a llama's. Our fathers have told us men may be made by forces of nature. It is the warmth of things, and moisture, and rottenness. Let us lead him to the elders.
But no one need lead me. I can see.
See?
Oh, yes, of course, I can... I didn't see your water bucket.
His senses are still imperfect. He stumbles and talks unmeaning words. Lead him by the hand, Pedro.
But look, Oh, well, all right. These people had been blind for centuries. They had forgotten even the words associated with seeing. And they thought I was an idiot, only half-formed. Especially when they led me into the pitch blackness of one of their windowless huts. And I stumbled over someone.
8,000 pardons, Madonna Sirota. He's a clumsy one.
I'm sorry I fell down. I couldn't see in the darkness.
Who is this? And what is he saying? He is but newly formed, good father. He has come down from the rocks. He stumbles as he walks and mingles words that mean nothing with his speech. He is a wild man out of the rocks.
No, I come from Bogota, over the mountains.
You hear? Bogota. He uses wild words. His mind is hardly formed. He has only the beginnings of speech. Bogota?
Yes. I come from the great world where men have eyes and see.
That must be his name, Bogota. He stumbled twice as we came thither. He must be taught.
No, you don't understand. I can see, but not in the dark. To you, darkness or light is all the same, but to me, to us who can see, to us outside in the world beyond the mountains...
Mountains? What are mountains?
Very well, then, beyond the rocks.
There is nothing beyond the rocks. That is the end of the world.
Oh, but surely you must realize the sky above covers more than just this valley.
Sky? Above? There is nothing above but the roof of rock. He is very raw, my children. He shall have to be taught from the beginnings. Now take him away. Feed him. It shall be done, good father. But guide him. See that he does not stumble over my daughter again.
Do not fear, Father. I shall guide him myself and feed him.
Very well.
Come. Take my hand.
Thank you. It'll be a pleasure to get outside again, out of this darkness.
Come this way.
Yes. What is your name?
Madonna Sarote.
Mine is Juan Nunez. Oh, sunlight. Oh, this is better. And now I may look at you. Why, you're beautiful. I cannot tell you what a wonderful thing you are to see.
Please, you must be careful.
Why?
If you do not learn quickly and cease speaking such strange words, they may not be so kind to you. They might be angry. They might even destroy you.
This thought had not occurred to me, and suddenly I had a twinge of fear. Still, the proverb kept running through my mind. In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man is king. But try as I would, I could not make them understand my wonderful gift of sight. They thought me stupid and untaught, almost an idiot. Day by day, I learned their peaceful ways, but they could not learn mine. It was beginning to get on my nerves. And theirs too, perhaps.
Bogota? Bogota, come hither. Bogota, you move not.
No, and I won't, you old beetle. I'll show you. I'll leave the path.
Bogota, trample not on the grass. It is not allowed.
How did you know I stepped on the grass?
I heard, of course.
Heard, but I didn't make a sound.
Why do you not come when I call you? Can you not hear the path as you walk?
I can see it.
There is no such word as see. Cease this folly and follow the sound of my feet.
Oh, my time will come.
You will learn. There is much to learn in the world.
Has no one ever told you in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
Blind? What is blind?
Oh, never mind.
Bogota, I must warn you. Just keep quiet and learn. And stop this nonsense about seeing.
Nonsense, is it? I'll show you I've taken enough of your insults. Unformed mind, got no sense yet. I'll be king here. I can see and I'll be king.
Bogota, stop it.
No, I'm through with your orders. I'll show you what an advantage sight can be. I can hit you and hurt you, and you can't see me to strike back.
Bogota, put down that spade.
You devil, your ears are sharp, aren't they?
Bogota, there must be no violence.
By heaven, I'll hit you if you come any closer. I swear I will.
Put down that spade and come off the grass.
You don't understand. You are blind, and I can see. I can see.
Bogota.
I'll hurt you. I swear I will.
Put down that spade.
Leave me alone! I hit him with a spade and ran. Over the wall, outside the valley, back to the rocks, back to the cliff I'd come from. When I reached that sheer rock wall, I knew there was no place to go. For 2 days and nights, I stayed outside the valley. I grew hungry and cold. Then I realized the hopelessness of my position. I was trapped. I must spend the rest of my life here. There was no way out. So I went back. I confess, O chief of the elders, I was mad, I admit. I was only newly made.
That is better. And do you still think you can see?
No. That was folly. The words mean nothing less than nothing.
And what is overhead?
Rock. There's a roof above the world, a roof of rock and very smooth.
Very well. And...
Please, before you ask me any more, give me food or I shall die.
Very well, give him food. Medina Salate. And after that, we must put him to the most menial tasks in the village. Guard him well. And perhaps he shall learn yet.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that is better. You are kind, Medina Sarote. Very kind.
I am glad you came back.
You are? If they were all like you, I should never have run away.
What was that word you said I was?
Beautiful. You are. But even your eyes, they're not shrunken depressions like the others.
It means something nice, beautiful.
Something very nice, Medina Sarote. Tell me, why is it you have no husband?
I have a disfigurement. These long hairs.
Oh, your eyelashes? Oh, but they're beautiful.
They are considered a disfigurement.
You're the most lovely girl in the valley. But they wouldn't know, would they? You have no lover?
No.
Medina Sarote, what do you think of me? Do you think of me as an idiot like all the rest do?
Oh, no. No, you have much to learn, but you will learn it, I'm sure. And you are kind and gentle. And your voice is soft. You speak words that are soft and warm. No one has ever spoken such words to me.
Then I shall speak them often, Medina Sarote. You are the only one in this valley, in this whole world I care for. And so it began. I, the village idiot, the slave boy who dreamed to be king. I, with my eyes still whole, fell in love with Medina Sarote, the daughter of the elder of the village. Only to her could I open my heart without fear. Only to her could I speak of the beauty I could see around me. Oh, it is a beautiful valley, Medina Sarote. Green with grass and yellow with sunlight. And flowers, bright flowers dotting the hills. And in the cool of the night, the stars gleam like diamonds in the sky.
Oh, the words sound lovely. But what are stars?
Stars? Why, No, you wouldn't understand.
And what do you mean, in the cool of the night? You still get that confused one. The night is warm. The day is cool.
Oh, no, it is you here who have them backwards. Because the darkness means nothing to you. You work in the cool of the night and sleep in the heat of the day, but...
You are teasing me.
No. Oh. What does it matter? All that matters is you. You. Here beside me, Medina Sarote. I love you.
And I love you.
I know they still think me an idiot, but you listen to what I say, and you don't think me an idiot, do you?
Oh, no. I like to hear you speak.
Then, would you marry me?
Yes. Yes, Juan. I will marry you.
No, I will not have it.
But, Father...
He is an idiot. He has delusions. He cannot do anything right.
But he is getting better. He's better than he was. And he is strong and kind. Stronger and kinder than anyone in the world. And he loves me. And I love him.
No, I will not have it.
Great, sire. If you please.
What is it, good doctor?
I have examined Bogota, and the case is clear to me. I think very probably he might be cured.
Huh? And how might that be done?
His brain is affected by something. I believe I know what it is. Those queer things he calls eyes. Where we have but an agreeable depression, he has great lumps with flaps over them that move and long hairs. Consequently, his brain is in a constant state of irritation.
But what can be done to cure him?
A very simple surgical operation. Remove the cause of the irritation. We will merely cut out his eyes.
But, Juan, they say it will make you well. It will make you look like us.
But you don't understand, Medina Sarote. My world is sight. You would not want me to lose my most precious possession?
I don't know.
There are so many beautiful things to see. The flowers, the far sky with its drifting clouds, the sunsets, the stars. And you. If only just to see you it is good to have sight. And I would never see you again.
Juan, I love to hear you say these things, even though I know it is just your imagination.
But, my dear, these things are real.
No, they are fancy. This is real. If you will let them cut out your eyes, we can be together always.
Then you want me to?
Oh, if you would. If only you would.
What else can I do?
My dearest one. My dearest with a tender voice. I will repay you.
Oh, Medina.
Be brave. And carry my voice in your thoughts. Now I must go. And tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow will be forever.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Medina. I suppose I knew it then, when I said that. I only meant to go up on the rocks and look out over the valley, to spend my last days feasting my eyes, my precious eyes, on the wonderful, beautiful world of light and color. But when I got there, it was too beautiful, too lovely, this valley, this home of the mountain gods. Beautiful and forbidden. I drank it in. The green of the fields, the blue of the gently curving stream, the orange of the lichen in the rocky crevices. I climbed higher to see the great snow-capped peaks towering above and away to the distant sky, and still higher as the shadows turned the snow to purple and crimson and deep blue. The valley now was far below and as beautiful as a painting. But like a painting, it seemed unreal. Medina Sarote was small and far away, a distant dream. And the world of sight was here, all around, overpowering, wonderful. I turned and began to climb up that sheer rock wall. How many months it took me to make my way out over those mountains, over glaciers and snowfields and sheer precipices, I cannot guess. How I lived through the cold and hunger of it, I cannot tell you. But I'm here at last, back from the country of the blind.
Good heavens, man. What an experience.
Yes. Terrible and wonderful.
But you aren't sorry you came back?
Sorry? I see her face clearly now. It is the only thing I see.
Nunez, come, you need food. Here, take my hand.
Thank you. Where is it, Senor Ibarra?
Nunez.
Yes. The gods of the mountain have had their revenge. Those months of crawling over the snow and ice, with the sun glaring down. Yes. I am blind.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight presented The Country of the Blind by H.G. Wells, adapted for radio by John Dunkel, with Paul Frees as Nunez, Peggy Weber as Medina Sarote, Bill Conrad as Ibarra, and Harry Bartell as Correa. The special musical score was conceived and conducted by Cy Feuer. Next week,
when you're tired from a hard day at the office, or your back aches from bending over a hot stove, next week at the same time, when you want to get away from it all, we offer you Escape.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are in the frozen polar region of Planet X. Pursuing Prince Baccarati into the shaft of an Endurium mine, they're unaware of a huge figure lurking behind a shoulder of rock.
Baskerati and Malone go in here. I hear them downstairs.
You can tell me later.
That's okay. We just quietly pretend.
It's strange to see him inside passages.
Hey! Hattie, what's the matter?
He's got me. It's lifting me off the ground.
Giant native.
Crushing my chest.
I'll give him a blast with my rake.
Why, you big fuzzy gorilla. Finish them off, Danu. Finish them.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X.
Someone new will come aboard Commander Corey's rocket ship. Someone new will enter the pilot's compartment and take over the controls of the commander's great space rocket Terra 4. And that someone can be you.
Yes, you may be the lucky space patroller who wins the rocket ship Terra 4 for your own clubhouse. A huge rocket clubhouse and $1,500 cash. That's what you can win as first prize in the amazing Name the Planet contest. And here it comes, pulled along by an honest-to-goodness full-size motor truck. A giant silver and scarlet space rocket Terra 4. What a rocket! Length, a terrific 35 feet, big as an airplane. Weight, a gigantic 10,000 pounds. Equipment, specially outfitted as a clubhouse on wheels. And what a clubhouse! It's got real bunks built in and lockers for space gear, electric lights, cooking equipment, just about everything you need for camping, hiking, sightseeing trips, any kind of adventure, any place you'd want to go in your rolling rocket clubhouse. And space patrollers, all it takes to send the giant, great rocket clubhouse and the motor truck and $1,500 rolling toward you is one word. And that one word is a name for Planet X. A name for Planet X. That strange, mysterious new planet, 5,000 times bigger than Earth. The home of the cruel Prince Baccarati. But I'll tell you more about that in just a few moments. And more about the 1,750 other terrific prizes you can win in the Name the Planet contest. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X. Commander Corey at last has Prince Baccarati in a position where the evil ruler of Planet X can be compelled to liberate hundreds of human beings whom he has forced into virtual slavery. With Buzz holding a ray gun on the power-mad prince, Baccarati has reluctantly ordered a fleet of his ships to come to the polar cap to transport the captive natives to their homes farther south. From the ship, the commander is now supervising the evacuation by means of a short-range spaceophone, while Cadet Happy guards Baccarati and his assistant, Dr. Malone.
Corey to Carson. Come in, please.
Carson here, Commander.
How many men are left to be evacuated?
Around 400, sir. They're mostly thugs and the cruel technicians you assigned to help me.
Can you handle them all right?
Oh, I think so, sir.
All right, Carson. Notify me when the last man is aboard. Corey out. Well, Happy? In an hour or so, we'll have every one of those natives down in the valley where the ships can pick them up.
What about Carson and men from the other planets? Are they going with the natives, sir?
They'll have to. And they'll be dropped off with a group of natives that are going farther south.
Oh, you mean they'll live with the natives until our space patrol ships come to get them?
Yes, we'll take care of that arrangement as soon as Baccarati's ships get all the natives safely home.
You're taking quite a bit for granted, aren't you, Commander?
You aren't counting on your men rescuing you, are you, Baccarati?
Don't forget, this is an enormous planet, Commander. I control it. And there are just two of you. The nearest space patrol ship is millions of DUs away.
When you give the order to cut off the defenses, they'll be here soon enough.
Oh. Did it ever occur to you that my men might refuse to let the space patrol into Planet X? They might even defy my orders to keep from being invaded.
I thought of that. But there are plenty of people on Planet X who hate you. They don't want to stay here, and when they get a chance to escape, they'll help. Don't worry about that.
Sure, look what happened right here in your Endurium mines. Even your own men wouldn't work.
Carson calling Commander Corey, emergency.
Corey here. Go ahead, Carson.
We've lost one of our thugs, this big Grano I told you about. Decided influence Baccarati's men and made it tough for his own people down in the mine.
What do you mean you lost him?
4 or 5 big thugs jumped him just as we were getting them aboard the mining cars. He broke away and ran toward the mine shaft. Shall I send some of my men after him?
He's a thug and used to this cold climate. He'll stand a better chance here. Let him go.
Yes, sir.
Are all the natives in the cars now?
Yes, sir. Ready to shove off to the valley whenever you give the order, Commander.
I'll be right out, Carson. Happy, put Baccarati back after Malengo and lock him up.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back as soon as the last car's gone down the grade.
After locking Baccarati in the aft compartment, Happy returns to the controls to wait for Commander Corey. Meantime, Baccarati paces his narrow quarters and glares at Dr. Malengo.
You're supposed to be a scientific genius, Dr. Malengo. Think of something. Get me out of this.
I already have, Your Highness.
Oh, then let's hear it.
But all the slaves gone.
The last car is about to pull out now. A bunch of those big, stupid thoughts. And a few technicians. Corey's out there now.
Excellent. When he comes back, we have a surprise for him.
Well, what is it?
When the commander searched this compartment for weapons, he overlooked something. This secret panel in the bulkhead. Look, Your Highness.
But there is nothing in it.
I beg your pardon, Excellency, but there is. This.
Oh, just a metal cylinder. What good is it?
It contains Valerium-12, under pressure, an irritant gas. It should enable us to overpower Corey and the Cadet and resume control of your ship.
Splendid! Splendid!
How does it work? Just press the small lever on the end.
Won't the gas affect us, too?
If you point it directly at Corey and the Cadet, and then cut it off, they'll get by far the worst of it. You'll have the advantage. It will be easy to grab their weapons and knock them out.
Good. Give me the cylinder.
As an icy wind whistles bleakly through the mountains, a train of mining cars begins its journey down the grade to the valley several miles below. Commander Corey watches the last car round the curve, then returns to Baccarati's ship. As he closes the inner hatch, he turns the heat control of his thermosuit to 0.
If I ever have to come to this part of Planet X again, I'll wear a space suit.
Just think of those poor guys having to live up here month after month, digging Imperium in this cold. Wow.
Well, it's all over now, I hope. Get ready to blast off, Happy. I want to be up over the valley when Baccarati's ships get here to take the men away.
All right, sir. Oh, can I take off this thermo suit? It's pretty warm here in the ship.
But leave it on, Happy, just in case. If those ships start trouble and shoot us down, we'd better be dressed for this climate.
Yes, sir. But would they dare shoot at Baccarati's ship?
Put yourself in the place of the men who heard the spaceophone message. Here was Prince Baccarati ordering more than 1,000 slaves released and returned to their homes.
That would sound odd coming from Baccarati.
You bet. They know something's up, but they don't know what. Still, his regular gang probably will carry out his orders without question.
Mm-hmm.
But suppose one of those ships is piloted by someone who wants to escape from Planet X. A captive pilot would do anything to get rid of Baccarati.
Oh, he'd blast us out of the sky before we could warn him.
Exactly. I'm going back aft and get Baccarati. It might be handy to have him near the spaceophone when his men show up. And don't blast off till I get back.
They're coming, Malengo. Get ready to rush them when I release the gas. Yes, Your Highness.
All right, Baccarati. Come on up front. We're blasting off.
Of course, Commander. Just as you say. Get his gun, Malengo. No, you don't. I can't get the gun. Come on, we'll get out of the ship. Hurry, now. Corey can't see through the airlock. Happy, stop them. Happy, stop right where you are, Baccarati. Try and stop me, Cadet. Hurry, Malengo. They're both blinded.
But, Your Highness, we can't go outside.
Will you come on? Out the outer hatch. Goodbye, Corey.
Highness, where can we go? We'll freeze to death.
Into the first mine shaft. It will be warmer then.
They'll track us down, and we're unarmed.
There's a spaceship hidden in a cave. If we can make that, we're safe. Come on, into the shaft. Hurry before Corey sees us. Wood out of the wind. Anyway.
It's still cold. Your Highness, look. A man, a monster. Back in the shack.
One very tall.
He's coming toward us. Use the gas on him.
I can't. I got the cylinder jumping out of the ship. And you come save me. Who are you?
Me, Granite, overseer.
Granu make all thugs work hard.
Oh, yes, Granu. Of course, I've heard of your loyal service.
Take Granu with you in Skysled. Granu work for you, always.
Of course, Granu. But there are two wicked men here. They're trying to harm me. They are bad men. Do you understand?
Granu, understand.
You must stop them. Press back against the wall of the shack. If they come in here, kill them.
Kill?
Yes, they're coming. Granu, don't let them get past you. Stop them, or you will stay here forever.
Must have gone into this shaft, Happy.
Yes, sir. You're right about the gas wearing off, sir. My eye's still smart, though.
They're running through this shaft and might be able to hear them stopping.
Shall we get a time?
Move this back with the time.
The shaft doesn't have any sight.
Happy, what's the matter? Something's got me. It's lifting me off the ground. It's a giant frog.
Where's my chest?
I'll give him a blast with my rake.
Why, you big fuzzy gorilla.
Finish them off, Granu. Finish them.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Look out! Clear the way! Here it comes! America's best-looking, best-riding bicycle, the Schwinn Varsity. A bike with 3-speed gear shift for double-fast pickup and 2-wheel handbrakes for double-safe stopping. Yes, that's the bike 750 of you Space Patrollers are going to be riding, because the second prize group in the great Name the Planet contest is 750 Schwinn Varsity bikes. Gang, there just never was a contest like this before. A contest in which you have a chance to win a huge rocket clubhouse on wheels and 750 chances to win a Schwinn bicycle. And, gang, listen to what you've got 1,000 chances to win. Third prize group, 1,000 pieces of regulation Space Patrol equipment, 250 autosonic rifles, 250 outer space helmets, 250 Space Patrol emergency kits, and 250 stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatches. And remember, all it takes to win the Rocket Clubhouse or a Schwinn bike or one of the other big prizes is a name for Planet X. You just name that tremendous new world, 5,000 times bigger than Earth. Planet X, land of man-eating plants, enormous monsters, kingdom of the arch-enemy of the Space Patrol. And, gang, this is the easiest contest you've ever heard of. The contest in which everyone, yes, everyone, can get a free prize. So be on the lookout, because in just a little while, I'm going to tell you how you can enter the exciting Name the Planet contest and get your free prize. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X. Fleeing into the shaft of the Endurium mines on the polar ice cap of Planet X, Baccarati and Malengro encountered Granu, a member of a race of shaggy giants that inhabit the Arctic regions of the remote planet. Knowing that Granu has been driven away by his fellow tribesmen as a traitor, Baccarati promised to help the abandoned native if he would attack Buzz and Happy when they entered the mine shaft.
Granu, finish them, I tell you. Finish? Yes, kill them. Don't you understand? You? No. Thugs, not kill. What do you mean, thugs don't kill?
Did your own tribe drive you away? Did they leave you here to die?
Tribe, not kill Granu.
Oh, I thought you were going to obey my command.
Granu obey. I must tell Granu to stop men. Granu do this. Now take me in Skysled. Take me where Granu can find food.
Oh, those fucking savages. Your Highness, let's get to that ship before we freeze to death.
We might as well go in our own ship now. But first, I'll just release Corey and the Cadet of their message.
Granu, come with you. Granu work hard for Highness. Granu make other men work too.
Your usefulness is all right,
Ever see a ray gun work?
Ray gun?
Yes. It works like this.
Granu like that. Let Granu play with ray gun.
It didn't phase him. Shoot again.
Granu wants to play.
It worked all right. Just took a little longer to numb their primitive nervous system. What a monster. Well, maybe he did finish for you, Cadet, but just to make sure.
What are you doing, Dennis?
I'm turning the heat control on the thermo suit to 0. Lying here in the sub-freezing temperature, they won't last 20 minutes.
How about the sun? You revive in an hour.
What do I care what happens to this woolly barbarian? Whether he lives or not, he can't harm us. Can he?
I suppose not, Johannes.
Then let's get going. I have some new orders. Now, if you turn on the spacerphone and contact my ship.
Johannes. Something's wrong, huh? Look, the spacerphone panel is smashed.
Smashed? What? It is smashed.
How did that happen?
During my scuffle with the cadet, I must have pushed him into it after I shoved the gas in his face. All the miserable luck. We don't contact those ships. They'll carry out the rescue after all.
Perhaps we can intercept them.
I got it. We'll let them pick up those slaves. We'll head for my castle and spacerphone other instructions. Those slaves will be sorry they didn't stay here in the Endurium mine. Let's blast off.
Less than a minute later, the reverberations of Baccarati's rockets die out in the frozen air, leaving only the sound of the Arctic wind to shriek across the polar ice cap of Cadet. Finally, in the dim light of the mine shaft, a figure moves and with difficulty sits upright. It is Buzz Corey. Shivering with cold, he looks around, first at Cadet Happy's still form, then at the shaggy hulk of Granu, the giant frog. His fingers clumsy with cold, he finally turns up the heat control of his thermo suit and does the same to Happy's. A moment later, Happy stirs, opens his eyes, and looks at the command.
Hey, you're still alive.
For the time being, somebody turned our heat controls to 0.
Oh, that's it. The mine's warming up now. Hey, where's that thing that grabbed me and slammed me against the side of the shaft? Uh-oh.
He's harmless now, huh? A ray gun put him to sleep.
Oh, then you got him after all.
I didn't do it, huh?
Well, then who did?
Baccarati.
Well, wait a minute. Baccarati wasn't on him.
He is now. Our guns are gone. Now, let's take a look outside.
The ship?
Yeah. Although I've got a pretty good idea what to see. Or rather, won't see.
Yep. Gone. Well, this is just dandy. Stranded on this ice cap a million miles from nowhere. Hey, listen. Back in the shack.
It's the fog. He's coming too.
Hey, we better get away from here before he comes after us.
If he wants to get us, it isn't going to do us any good to run. Besides, I don't think he'll hurt us now.
Yeah, but look what he did to us before.
I know, but this man is an outcast, driven away by his own people. He knows he's stranded here. I think he'd prefer company, particularly since he knows the company he can lick.
Hey, and he knows these mines pretty well. Maybe he has some food stashed in them.
Now, come on, Hap. Let's try to shoot him. You're Granu, aren't you? We're your friends, Granu.
You not have ray gun?
No, we have nothing that could hurt you. We don't want to hurt you.
Granu can hurt you.
We know that. We proved it. But you're not going to hurt us, Granu.
You not afraid of Granu? You not hate Granu?
No, we don't hate you.
You take Granu in big sky sled? Take him find food?
Sky sled?
He needs a spaceship. People probably use sleds, like the Eskimos on Earth used centuries ago.
Sorry, Granu, but our space, the sky sled we came in is gone. Prince Baccarati took it. If Baccarati means anything to him.
Highness bad man. Highness lied to Granu. Granu not work for Highness.
You take Granu and Sky Sled Granu work for you.
Well, you don't understand, Granu. There is no Sky Sled.
Wait, Happy. When Baccarati saw he couldn't overpower us, he escaped from the ship. Would he have done that if he was sure to be stranded here?
Oh, that's right. He could have surrendered, stayed in the ship, and waited for another chance.
Granu, is there a Sky Sled somewhere near the mine? Yes. Come. Granu, take it. Let's go, Hap. And I hope he knows the difference between a spaceship and an excavating machine.
Wow, look at the strides he takes. Hey, Granu, Hey, Granu, how much farther is it? I'm about to drop.
Not far. Sky Sled, round corner. Hope he knows what he's talking about.
So do I. Hey, I see a light ahead.
The shaft is widening.
There's something big in the opening.
There, Sky Sled. It's a ship, all right.
Hey, hurry up, Granu. Get a move on.
I thought you were tired.
Not now.
Up the ladder, Hap.
It's only an atmosphere ship.
A few moments ago, you would have settled for a 20th century bicycle.
I know, but... Well, with a space job, we'd stand a chance of getting off this planet.
You worry about that when you've got Baccarati. Watch your head, Granu. The top of that hatch is pretty low for a man your size. Secure the hatch, Happy.
Hey, this isn't a bad little ship, sir.
Stand by to blast off.
Standing by, sir. Oh, where are we headed, sir?
To find Baccarati. We've got to give him something to worry about before he has time to bring misery to those people waiting in the valley.
There is the castle, Malengo. In a few minutes, I'll be in my tower, watching those worthless slaves go to their doom.
Your Highness.
Yes.
The identification signal.
So what about it?
So the ship can get through the electronic force field around your castle.
Isn't it working? It should be automatic.
Must have been damaged when the spacer point was wrecked.
We'll circle the castle until they recognize my ship and cut the fill. How about that?
Ground emplacements around the castle. They're firing at us.
The fools! Can they recognize my ship? The idiots!
We're hit. They got us.
We'll head back north for those hills.
Losing altitude, Your Highness.
If we can make it over the hills, we'll stay.
Perhaps they've tried to contact you by spacer phone. We can't reply. We can't even receive. And we sent out no identification signal.
But don't they know my ship? And they did?
Perhaps they figured some imposter was aboard. It's just the sort of trick Corey might try to gain entrance to the castle.
But Corey's in the mine shaft, up on the polar ice cap.
But your men don't know that. Your Highness, we're going to crash.
Go up, you fool!
Are you hurt, Your Highness?
How do I know till I stand down? Stop asking foolish questions and get me out of this mess.
Your Highness. Look, it's a small atmosphere ship. It has seen us. It's going to land.
Well, don't stand there gibbering. Get that hatch open.
Yes, the illustrious one. In a few moments, you'll be back in your castle.
Yes. Come on. What are you waiting for? Well, where's the pilot of this ship? Is this any way to greet your ruler?
Welcome aboard, Baccarati.
Hurry!
No, don't reach for that gun, Baccarati. I'll do it. Thank you.
I'm glad to see you weren't hurt in the crash. It'll make it easier for us to get through the force field and into the castle.
How did you find this ship?
We had a guide. Oh, and you'll be happy to learn that your men carried out your orders perfectly. We just heard a space phone report that the natives have all been returned safely to their homes.
And now we're going to have you arrange to let some Space Patrol ships in to pick up the technicians from the United States.
I'm sure you'll cooperate, Baccarati, when you see your guard. He's crouching in the corridor waiting for him.
It's Todd. Run!
Close the hatch, Happy. Stand by to blast off.
Standing by, sir.
Standing by, sir.
Hey, this is the Granu.
An exciting preview of next week's Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Gang, that's how easy it is to enter the Name the Planet contest and get a free prize. 1. Go to your nearest Weatherbird shoe store. 2. The Weatherbird shoe man will give you your free prize, a swell-looking interplanetary coin album with 3 real space coins inside. Terrific coins, big as a $50, with designs of planets colored in starlight silver. So good-looking, you'll want to collect them and trade them with all your pals. And 3, right there in the coin album, you'll find your Name the Planet contest entry blank with easy directions for sending in your name for Planet X. Now, if there's no Weatherbird shoe dealer in your neighborhood, find where else to get your coin album and entry blank by looking on the back of a package of good hot Ralston, either instant or regular. But make sure it's a new package with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front. So hurry, gang. Start now to win the Rocket Clubhouse or one of the 1,750 other big prizes. Get your free coin album and entry blank and enter the Space Patrol Name the Planet contest at your Weatherbird shoe dealers. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in the control tower of Prince Baccarati's castle, ready to force the prince to permit a rescue squadron to reach Planet X. Suddenly, apparently from nowhere, Baccarati's assistant, Murdoch, produces a weapon.
Commander, Murdoch's got a gun.
Drop it, Murdoch. Murdoch, we've got blast cartridges in our hand. If you shoot us, we'll blow up the whole tower.
Better hold it, Murdoch. Murdoch, have you lost your mind?
One more step.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story, Rescue from Planet X, when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Len Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol!
Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles reporting on a train that can fly 1,000 miles without refueling, the North American FJ-2 Fury. Now, in a moment, we'll hear from the well-known test pilot on this Navy jet fighter, J. Ray Donahue, Jr. The Fury is a carrier-based plane armed with 4 20-millimeter cannons. It flies 650 miles per hour, has an altitude mark of 45,000 feet. Its length, 37 feet. Now, J. Ray Donahue, Jr., recorded at Edwards Air Force Base.
To fly at supersonic speeds, the test pilot must have plenty of energy. That's why I always get a good night's sleep and start the day off with a good breakfast cereal like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They have plenty of energy, and they taste mighty fine. And I know that you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from J. Ray Donahue, Jr., Bob Love, and other top test pilots. Make your cereal Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.